What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. Strongest Flame Emperor 1 Fate Chapter 1. People have crossed, and they are in Konoha. 40 years of Konoha, Ninja School, Practical Drill, Kyosuke Asakawa vs Mizuki, then, start now. Some elderly teachers announced that the last battle of this actual combat class had officially begun. Under the watchful eyes of the teacher and classmates, the two young children stood opposite each other. They are all 6 or 7 years old, with a full head of silver hair, white and tender, and when he grows up, he is probably a greasy noodle. He has no big skills and can trick children into doing bad things. In addition, the black-haired and brown-eyed pupil is a good lady with a bright smile. He looks like a handsome guy when he grows up, and is still a very pretty one. Following the teacher's order, Mizuki didn't move, but sneered. Asakawa Kyosuke, see if I beat you to the ground this time. I can't eat. I see if those girls will like you. Oh, my god, look at this kid who is really sick. I will definitely kick him in the *** with my shoes. Sometimes, it is a sin to be handsome, even if he is still young, he would still be targeted. Alas, the girls in the school are too precocious, right? It's not my fault to be handsome. With a sigh in his heart, Shinzuki didn't want to take care of this second item. Only at this time, Mizuki had already rushed over, punching a small fist. Kiyomizu let out his body, grabbed his silver hair, pulled it down, and raised his knees at the same time. Bang bang bang. 3 times in a row, let go of Mizuki. The latter swayed, with gold stars in his eyes, dizzy, nosebleed, not knowing who or where he was, swaying, just turned his back to Kyosuke. At this time, Kiyomizu flew up, kicked him out, fell a dog to chew on the mud, and finished work. Mizuki fell to the ground and burst into tears. Winner, Kyosuke Asakawa. The teacher announced the winner in Mizuki's cries and the cheers of a group of girls. The girl cheered over there and said, yeah, Asakawa-san is really amazing, as expected of him. Advertisement, and so handsome, strong strength, long and handsome, just like Kakashi. The girls here agree that Kyosuke is handsome, and the boys here. Haha, Mizuki cried, and was beaten and cried so easily, it's really weak. Poor and weak. Too poor and weak. Asakawa Kyosuke won again, this guy is really jealous. What about winning? It's not better than Kakashi, that guy became a ninja last year. Amidst the discussion, the class ended like this. The red-eyed Mizuki looked at Shinsuke's back bitterly, gritted his teeth. Why do you want to be welcomed by everyone? Obviously I am the first. Obviously I am the first welcome. What do you and Kakashi do? Damn, my nose hurts. Asakawa Kyosuke, I will let you know the consequences of offending me. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Taking a long breath, Kyosuke stood on the gurgling water with his eyes closed, trying to control his chakra so that he could stand on the water without falling. For his current chakra, as long as it is well controlled, it will not fall for a while. Let me give it a try, if Jian is. Jian started on his hand, mobilizing the chakra in his body, and shouted in a low voice, wind escape breakthrough. He opened his mouth and let out a gust of wind, blowing the sand and rocks across the river, and even the trees swayed back and forth. His head is dizzy and hypoxic. The chakra in his body is a little bit less. If he has been using the C-class ninjutsu wind escape breakthrough, if he has been using it continuously, he will probably be able to use it more than a dozen times before the chakra in his body will be close to the limit. Then try your ability. He clenched his fist, and a hot flame suddenly burned on his fist. There was no painful expression on his face. This flame was not formed by chakra, but another ability that did not belong to this world. Devil Fruit. Natural type, Burning Fruit. These were the abilities that were attached to Kyosuke's journey through. These abilities were possessed when he had consciousness, but he had to develop them from scratch. Advertisement because this world has no related substances to restrain the devil fruit. Even if he falls into the water, he will still not become a land duck, backstroke, butterfly, freestyle, swim as he pleases. He clenched his fist and hit the river. Boom! The flames collided with the water, the river exploded, and the water dripped down, dampening the clothes on his body. The destructive power is far less powerful than Ace's fire fist. It seems to be to adapt to this world. Burning the fruit will consume his chakra, but it is not as huge as ninjutsu, and because of the relationship between the devil fruit, the chakras in the body also grew more than those of the same age, and even surpassed some Zonran. I looked around and confirmed that there was no one. The body burst into flames. The whole person was like a torch, steaming up, and when the clothes were dry, the flame disappeared. This second ninja war has just ended, and the third one will begin in a few years. We must accumulate strength as soon as possible so that we can't be killed. As a ninja, he must be on the battlefield. Must have the ability to survive. Elementalization is indeed the same magical skill as the illusion of divine power. It is only for a long time to fight. Chakra is insufficient in the body cannot be elementalized. Even if the substance of the devil fruit is increasing, chakra is still weak. People will die if they are killed. There is no doubt that it is nonsense, but it is also a fact. If you don't want to go to the battlefield, then you are not a ninja, but the golden finger is given to you. Holding the golden finger and living a peaceful life, he is not an ordinary office worker with a hand fetish in pursuit of a peaceful life. The main thing is to develop fruit abilities, ninjutsu or something. Put it aside, I don't have any good ninjutsu in my hand, and I can practice chakra in disguise. While cultivating the fruit ability, it will also squeeze the chakras in the body and consume the chakras in the body. After recovery, the chakras in the body will increase, just like those in the pirates. A battle is not dead, and the strength is again there will be an increase. The devil fruit has transformed his body, and he is moving closer to the physique of the pirate world. Saiyan. Thinking like this, point your finger at the surface of the water, fire gun. A little bit of sparks rushed out from the fingertips, as fast as a meteor, and plunged into the water, leaving only the sizzling sound of the flame being extinguished by the water. Putting down his hands and preparing to experiment with the next move, someone said, "Brother, Asakawa Kyosuke. The B********D usually cultivates around here. He should be here. You must help me teach him." Does this sound familiar? Also, who will teach me? Did I offend anyone? Chapter 2. 1000-7 equals how many? He, Kyosuke Asakawa, has always been kind to people and never offends people. Someone will come over today and want to teach me? Konoha is a happy family, and he never knows how to fight in a nest. Are you sure that kid is here, Mizuki? But I sacrificed my training time to come and help you teach the kid who bullied you. Don't let me run for nothing. Another voice came, and the voice was still very immature. Obviously the owner of the voice is also a young child. Hearing what he said, Kyosuke knew who was looking for the fault. It was Mizuki. This guy beat him to tears today, so he asked his older child to come and find the fault? This is really. But he didn't want to cause trouble and walked to the shore, ready to run away. At this moment, 2 white hairs, one big and one small, came out of the bushes. Gee. What he cared about the most was the older child, because that child was wearing a Konoha forehead guard on his head. It was obvious that he was a ninja who had graduated and started to take over the task. The face somewhat similar to Mizuki should be his brother or something. As for this guy, Mizuki is naturally. This kid has a face that looks like a villain. Seeing Kyosuke, he immediately said, "Asakawa Kyosuke, I have been looking for you for a long time. This is my elder brother Jin Mu. He is an excellent ninja, and he soon became Zangren. Today my eldest brother is here to vent my anger." Kyosuke said helplessly, "Isn't it you? I beat you to tears, are you so careful? Is your elder brother especially good at dumping the pot? Don't throw the pot or throw it to the world, isn't it good to throw it to Shichin?" On the other hand, Mizuki's eldest brother Jin Mu hummed, "You bullied my brother, little kid, you're looking for a fight. Wow, you shameless. Sha Ren actually bullied the kids. Huh, you can beat me today because I broke my stomach. If it wasn't for my stomachache, I don't need my eldest brother to act. Why do you have that face? It is worthy of being a man who can instigate the prince to do bad things in the future. At a young age, he has shown the ability to reverse black and white. With a little training, he might be a light teacher in the future. If you can't beat me, I still use this reason. It's enough. You have to stand upright when you are beaten. If you can't lose even if you lose, then you are still a ninja? Advertisement, you." Mizuki still wanted to talk back. His elder brother Jin Mu stopped him and said, "Okay, don't make a noise. Kid, be beaten by my brother, that's all for it. You have 2 now, choose. Either my brother will beat you up, or I will beat you up. You can choose one." Shinji fished out his ears and said, "I choose the third one." "What? Just to beat the 2 of you?" Arrogant, Jin Mu was angry, and the stinky kid who was still a student of the ninja school actually ranted that he was going to beat him, and it seemed that he was going to suffer a little bit. "I think you are toasting and not eating fine wine. Do you think you are the kid of Kakashi? It's obviously a kid, but he is already in the end. This talent makes him jealous and crazy, and now this smelly kid is coming to stimulate yourself. This is looking for death." Seeing that elder brother was on fire, Mizuki stepped back a few steps, hid behind the tree. It's better to be smashed by the eldest brother to see if he will be popular. Tisk. Kyosuke retreated to the river. Jin Mu had already rushed over. Compared with his brother's brainless attack, Jin Mu appeared more experienced. His leg was longer than his hand. He kicked it over without hitting it, but was instead dodge and fall into an empty space. Taking this opportunity, Kyosuke kicked Jin Mu's leg, forcing him to kneel down on one knee, then turn around to take a roundabout kick, and the kick Jin Mu almost fell into the water. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Smelly kid. Jin Mu stretched out his hand, trying to catch him, but was kicked on his face, and immediately fell into the water with a plop. Kiyomizu looked at Mizuki and said, "You will be the next one." "Impossible. Absolutely impossible. You can't beat my elder brother." Mizuki's little mind was hit hard. So why can this guy beat the eldest brother? Also, brother, aren't you a ninja? Why are you defeated by this guy? He is a student like me. People and their physique cannot be generalized. You can only be extremely angry when you are extremely angry. But I am different. I will become stronger. Mizuki, is your eldest brother really a ninja? Smelly boy. What are you proud of? Jin Mu climbed up from the river. No matter what the 3721, he rushed over directly. This time, the speed was much faster than before. The fist came over, but was caught by a palm smaller than him. Then, he feeling the other's palms hot for a while, just like putting his fist into the fire. Kyosuke stretched out his other hand, sparks pouring out from his fingertips, and suddenly lit Jin Mu's pants. Big brother, you are wearing pants. Hot and hot. Advertisement. Jin Mu suddenly retracted his hot blistering hand, and jumped into the water again. Look at me this time, I will definitely not be calculated by you stinky kid. Standing in the water, Jin Mu began to quickly seal. The water around him gathered, and the last mark fell. Shui Dunbo. The river water rushed up, forming a water column, rushing towards Chingjia. In order to conceal people's eyes, Chingjia pretended to be stamped, and opened his mouth to exhale a flame. Fire escape, jet flame. Boom. The cold water column collides with the hot flames, and finally, water vapor will be formed. Suddenly, the white water vapor obscured the sight. Jin Mu immediately got up from the water, and Mizuki's voice came, Big brother, where are you? I'm here, it's okay. Suddenly, he heard his own voice and immediately said, Mizuki, don't believe me, I'm here. Big brother, ah. Hearing a scream from his younger brother, Jin Mu hurried to the direction of the scream of his younger brother, revealing his figure. Suddenly, he felt a scorching heat. Looking back, a flame fist magnified in front of his eyes. Fire punch. He was hit by a fist in his chest, and the whole person hit the tree, feeling that his internal organs were all shifted, painful, and there were burns in some places on his body, embarrassing. With one foot on his shoulder, Kyosuke walked over, holding his brother Mizuki, who was already peeing in one hand, and asked with a smile. I will ask you a question now. How much is 1000 minus 7? Jin Mu trembled and said, it is equal to 997. The math is pretty good. A kick on Jin Mu's face caused him to fall into a coma. Throwing Mizuki aside, smiling brightly, I've always wanted to see your expression, this expression afraid of me. How about it? In the future, will you dare to make people trouble me? No, dare not, no, don't hit me, Mizuki screamed, but was still made up. Chapter 3. Uncle Snake, don't, Uncle Snake. Looking at the two brothers who were in a coma, Kyosuke clapped his hands, looked at Mizuki's face, made a cut, grabbed his hair, and the flame ignited, turning his silver hair into a chicken coop. He smiled, suddenly felt a gloomy cold. Hiss tilde how come there is an ominous premonition and slipped away. The two brothers just let it go. Anyway, there are no dangerous beasts around here. They can't die. Intuition tells him that he will definitely be in trouble if he doesn't leave. At this time, the grass made a rustling sound, and a closer look revealed that it was a small white snake. It's just a snake, which shocked me. Wait, snake. Youth, your body is very unscientific. The magnetic voice was full of interest, causing Kyosuke to get goosebumps. He was uncomfortable. He turned his head stiffly, and his eyes were in a purple yukata. Well, there is no way to be short. Lifting his head, it was a pale face, golden vertical pupils looked at him, and his eyes were full of curiosity about the kid in front of him, and Kiyomizu felt as if he was being stared at by a snake preparing to catch its prey. Seeing this face, this look, and the Azure Go jade earrings, there is no need to say who came. Legend of Sanin, Lang Jun, Dashawan, Kyosuke. Orochimaru gender. Now male, hobby. Maybe female. He is a seeker who has mastered core technology, a man who does not stick to the secular. N. People who are not constrained by the world are cruel, like abducting children, and conduct various illegal experiments. I must have been seen just now, the look in my eyes is just like the look I had when looking at those Situ. As one of the leaves of Konoha in the future, he felt that he should stay away from this one. I'm afraid he won't want to. Advertisement. Just now, the little white snake crawled into Dashimaru's trouser legs. Dashimaru licked his lips and said, I can't think of going for a walk and looking for inspiration. I discovered such an interesting thing, your name. He came out for a walk, and came over when he heard the sound of fighting. Unexpectedly, he saw the scene where Chinjia used his ability to teach Shinmu. Although there was water vapor, he could see clearly, and he could use the flame without the seal. His ability made him very interested. Asakawa Kyosuke. Facing him, Kyosuke felt a lot of pressure. Asakawa Okawa and Asakawa Kiko's son. Oshimaru remembers the names of these two people. On the battlefield of the Second Ninja World War, Asakawa Okawa, the special Shainin, died in order to complete the mission. Soon after, the same today, his wife's medical unit was also attacked and many people died, including Asagawa's wife. The couple died on the same day, leaving only a 3 or 4-year-old son. At that time, he personally recovered the bodies of the couple. Seeing Chingsuke's eyes softened, he seemed to see how he looked when he was a child, but he was much better than when he was a child. Do you know my parents? I've seen it a few times. Dashimaru didn't want to be involved in this topic, and said, Kaisuke-san, your ability is very special. Can you show it to me again? To suffer, this man is staring at me. But facing Oshimaru, Kyosuke could only bite the bullet and let a flame burn in his palm. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. You don't need Jian? No need. Your family's blood inheritance boundary? But as soon as he said it, he overturned this theory. If Kyosuke's father also had the same, it would not be so easy to die on the battlefield. And the blood inheritance boundary was only in Konoha right round eyes and white eyes, as well as the Pommel Horse clan manipulating the 5 senses and the Moonlight clan to escape. It's just that the latter two families have long since declined, becoming small and inconspicuous families. Could it be that this child's ancestor has this special blood inheritance boundary? Because the span is too long, he has not been awakened and declined, and the child hit the awakening by accident. What is the limit of blood succession? Shinjia asked innocently. Dashimaru briefly explained what blood succession is, watching him put out the flame on his hand, and asked, don't you feel hot? Generally speaking, the power of ninjutsu is directly proportional to the risk. The more powerful ninjutsu is, either the risk is very high and it is classified as a forbidden technique, or it will consume a lot of chakras, but the child's appearance does not look like it at all. It is hot or the chakra is overconsumed. Do not think so. When did you have this ability? Kiyomizu looked at Dashimaru cautiously, and said weakly, after Mom and Dad passed away. Advertisement. The fear and precaution in the eyes were noticed by Dashimaru, but ignored by him, it was all because the child was afraid of himself, and he didn't care. This is normal, I have been used to it for a long time, let alone a child who has lost his parents since childhood, vigilant and fearful. It is a normal thing, after all, in the eyes of this child, he is a stranger. Are special abilities activated due to emotional fluctuations? Will Konoha add a new blood succession boundary? Not sure about Shinsuke's ability for the time being, he said. Kaisuke-san, are you interested in visiting me? My house is still quite big, and there are a lot of novel little toys there. You can just sleep when you're tired of playing. That looks like a strange thing to abduct elementary school students. Kyosuke felt that if he did, he would be waiting for him with a cold operating table and a sharp scalpel. Is this to dissect yourself? Don't snake, Uncle Snake? No, Mom and Dad told me not to go to a stranger's house to play. Goodbye, Uncle. With that said, he turned his head and wanted to run away, but a pity, just after turning around, a few snakes got out of the sleeve of Da Shiwan and tied him up. The cold snake body bound him firmly, and the big snake with the thick arms spit out a snake lair at him. To suffer. Oshimaru smiled and said, Kaisuke-san, you are really defensive, but I won't do anything to you. I'm just curious about your ability, come with me. Uncle Snake, don't, Uncle Snake. Help, someone abducts and sells underage children, help. Shinsuke shouted openly. No need to shout, this is indeed a good place for practice, no one comes here, so I like to walk here, even if you break your throat, no one will come. Broken throat, Orochimaru. Is there really no problem with this child's IQ? In order to avoid being too defensive by Kyosuke, Osakimaru loosened the snake wrapped around him and said, Kaisuke-kun, I am Osamaru, a disciple of the third generation of Hokage. You don't have to worry about what I will do to you, just want to figure it out. Is the source of your ability? It won't hurt you, and depending on your sneaky appearance, you want to hide this ability? As long as I figure it out, you can use this ability in the village in the future. How about do you want to follow me? He stretched out his hand to Shinsuke, looking forward to what choice the child would make. Chapter 4. I'm just a guinea pig. Looking at Oshimaru's pale hand, Kyosuke fell into silence. Mixing with the current Dashawan will definitely get a lot of benefits, and you can use this ability reasonably in the future. The power of the devil fruit is unreasonable. He has always been hiding because he was afraid of being discovered by the village, and then he would lie on the operating table, waiting for some experimenters to dissect and learn the secrets of his body. Dashimaru is a very dangerous person, but if he really hugs this thigh, he will be safe before he defected from the village. At that time, as long as he made a name on the battlefield and made a war, it could be said that he would sit back and relax. High risk and high return. After gritting his teeth, he stretched out his hand and shook the cold snake-like hand, and said, I don't want to be treated as a monster by the people in the village, so, Lord Osamaru, please help me. You made a very correct choice, Kyosuke-kun, come with me. Released his hand and led the way. On the way, Dashimaru asked questions about ability and Shinji told the truth. But he didn't say it was a devil fruit, he didn't know what it was anyway. After hearing that it could be elementalized, Dashimaru's eyes lit up, and before he reached his station, he couldn't wait to say, quickly, let me see your flames. Flame. Why don't you call it cremation? I don't know if this choice is right, I sighed in my heart, and said, it's okay. Okay. Looking at his unchanged body, Dashimaru understood, took out a handful of kunai, and cut a hole in Shinsuke's arm. No blood flows out, but flames are replaced, doesn't it hurt? No pain. Can you control it freely? Yes, without elementalization, my body is just a normal body. That's it. Without hesitation, he chopped off one of Kyosuke's hands. The arm fell on the ground and turned into a flame and dissipated in the air. At the broken arm, there was a blazing flame. As the flame burned, the broken arm regrew out without any influence. It was just Shinji's. His face became pale. Obviously, this trick has a big impact on his chakra. Advertisement. The ability to turn the body into flames at will, and it can also be regenerated, which is very similar to the hydration secret technique of the Ghost Lamp clan in Wuyin village. Secret of hydration. Dashimaru explained. The secret ninjutsu passed down from generation to generation by the Ghost Lamp clan can make the body liquid and immune to physical attacks, but the weakness is thunder escape. If you push back, your weakness should be water escape, of course. On the premise that your body is flaming, there is no flame that is not afraid of water. You are wrong. Fire and water do not have a clear restrained relationship. Which is stronger and weaker depends on the quantity and temperature. He gave an example. A fist-sized flame will be easily extinguished in front of a bucket of water. But in front of the Hao fireball, it will be evaporated. It's just a matter of quantity and temperature. You should use Huo Dun to get twice the result with half the effort. No, as long as chakra is enough, you are likely to be able to use any kind of Huo Dun. Thinking of this, he said, you are very valuable for training. I want to figure out the secrets of your body more and more. Your speed is too slow. Speaking of him grabbing Shinsuke's collar, the scenery in front of him was blooming, and there was a gust of wind. In a blink of an eye, the two of them came to a simple-looking wooden house. Pushing the door open, a cold feeling rushed toward his face, and he took Shinsuke to an unimportant laboratory of his own. Shinji saw that there were a lot of bottles and cans on the shelf. All of them were soaked in special things with unknown liquids. Some were snakes, and some were other creatures. I felt a pain in my arm and found that Dashiwan picked up a needle and began to draw blood. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Let me go. Your sanitation is not hygienic. Is there anything weird with this? Dashiwan gave him a cotton swab, let him press it, and collected a blood sample from Shinji. He immediately took a little and placed it under the microscope. Observed for a while and found that there was no difference from other people's blood. Only researching for a while, I couldn't get any very special information, and transferred the target to Chingia, and found that the other party was looking at the snake he was soaking in the jar. Why? Interested in these? Chingia nodded, and said, well, Master Dashimaru, is this snake soaked in wine? No, this is a special liquid medicine that can prevent corruption. This snake is the subject of research. Oh, then forget it. Orochimaru. What's the matter with your dull expression? Why do snakes have to be soaked in wine? Are you a medicated liquor? And that's not what medicinal wine does. Kaisuke-san, your focus is really peculiar. I want to try your abilities and come with me. Advertisement. Oh, he is ready to be treated as a guinea pig. As long as Dashiwan's thirst for knowledge is satisfied, there should be benefits. When he came to the backyard, Dashimaru said, come, use your power with me, don't keep your hands. Kyosuke said hesitantly, but if it is completely liberated, it will be very troublesome. You don't need to worry about anything. Dashimaru is confident, even if his ability is very special, he can easily deal with it with his own strength. Then come, Master Dashimaru, please be careful, Wokuan. In an instant, his arm became elemental, rising against the storm, turning into a flame arm the size of a table of 8 immortals, and hitting the big snake pill. The scorching airflow rushed towards her face, and Dashimaru simply estimated the temperature. The temperature of Bihou's fireball was not good, and it seemed to have an impact. Tuden Tulubi, as the disciple of the 3 generations of Naruto Sarutobi, ninjutsu comes at his fingertips. The earth flow wall rose up and stood in front of him, only hearing a rumbling sound. The earth flow wall blocked the fire fist, but it was almost collapsed. Musket. The sparks in front of me are little by little, and the sparks like bullets fly out, forming a little bit of attack. Reaching out to form the seal, the speed is extremely fast, open the palm of the hand, and the wind blows out, blowing out the fire of the gun, but it also blows some sparks away, and the sparks fall on the wooden house and ignite the house. Orochimaru. Putting out the fire, I feel that this kid is a bit pitted. For the sake of experimentation, I still have to continue. Yang Yan. Kyosuke opened his hand, a beam of fire shot out from his palm, and struck again. This time, Feng Dun was not used, but the shadow clone was used to accept the attack. The clone was wiped out, and the momentary pain and memory were transmitted to the main body, letting him understand Shinsuke's attack. The temperature is higher than that of ordinary Huo-dun, and the power of the blow just now can be comparable to the B-level Huo-dun ninjutsu. He became more and more curious about Kyosuke's attacks that could be released without Jin and his body that could be turned into flames. Chapter 5. Blood Succession Limit, Bushi. That's all? Dashiwan looked at Shinsuke and asked. No, I have developed so many abilities, Kyosuke said. Development is a bit less, you can develop more methods, but you are still young now, and you will have time in the future, Dashimaru said. Oh, I thought of a trick. Can your elementalization be restored even if your whole body is blown up? What trick did you think of? So terrible, Kyosuke said. Yes, but it takes a lot of chakras to recover the body. That's fine, you wait until there are enough chakras in the future, then gather a large number of chakras on the surface of your body, approach the enemy, and detonate. Kyosuke. Are you sure you are not the holstered starman who ran over from the M78 Nebula? Isn't this an AOT bomb? Tyro's single-handed nirvana is the strongest ability to concentrate energy on the body, then rush to the enemy and hug the opponent, and die with the opponent. There was a big bang, and Tyro resurrected with the regenerative ability of Otter's heart. Good guy, this is the Hokage version of the Ultra Bomb. As expected of Dashimaru, I easily thought of a move I couldn't think of. Of course, this is used as a last resort. You can try it later. Now, let's condense the chakra and lay a good foundation. Dashimaru gave a suggestion. He is not very suitable for being a teacher. But there is still the ability to discover a person's abilities. Advertisement. He didn't care about the perfunctory answer, and asked, what grade are you in this year? 2nd grade, graduate next year. The school year of Konoha Ninja School was a 3-year system during the war. When they were in school this time, the war had not completely ended, and the 3-year system was still extended to supplement the consumption of the war. Well, continue to study. Come to me every day after school. In addition, this will teach you a ninjutsu. Take a good look and learn it. This ninjutsu is the shadow doppelganger technique. Look good. Although this ninjutsu is B-level, it's very simple. First make Renyan, and then distribute the chakras reasonably. Dashimaru's teachings are very careful. If Kyosuke doesn't understand anything, he will give an answer. Bang. An identical entity clone appeared beside him, but weak and collapsed. Obviously it failed. Chakra didn't allocate it well. You were like this, so you can do it again. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Under the guidance of Dashimaru, Kyosuke matched chakra well in one way and another, and completed the shadow clone without fail this time. It seems that your talent is still good. Come here often. This little guy will give it to you. You can use it to contact me if you have something. At the beginning, the little white snake got out of his sleeve and spit out a scarlet snake letter to Kyosuke. Can you change one? No, I only have snakes here. Not allowing him to refuse, Dashimaru stuffed the little white snake into his hand. The little white snake wrapped around his wrist a few times to form a snake-shaped bracelet. It was just alive, with slippery scales, and it was very comfortable to be cold. Okay, Master Dashiwan, what does it eat? Mouses, sparrows, and eggs are okay. Okay, let's go by myself. I still have experiments to do. As if disgusted with him, Kyosuke was driven away. Throw it away when you use it up, he whispered and left. At this time, Dashiwan returned to the laboratory to continue to study the mysteries of Shinji's body, but after several days of sleepless experiments, he only found that the child's physique was special. The rest is gone. Could it be that my experiment went in the wrong direction? Human curiosity is endless, but there is no clue yet. Advertisement. After a short break, he immediately went to the Hokage building, found the third generation of Naruto Tobuhiro, and reported Shinsuke's ability. The current Oshimaru still has Konoha's heart. After satisfying the desire to study at the beginning, he still has to report on this matter. This is also to enable Kyosuke to use that ability with integrity. After all, it was guaranteed at that time. If he doesn't do it, it is a violation of the agreement, which is not in line with his behavior. Now that it is guaranteed, it must be completed. Sarutobi Risen asked in surprise. You mean that Asma's classmate has a special blood inheritance boundary? Yes, it's called Asakawa Kyosuke. It's similar to but different from the secret technique of hydration of the Ghost Lamp clan in Wuyin village. After a brief explanation, Sarutobi Risen stood up and said, go and check the files of Asakawa's family. After Konoha was founded, many ninjas donated many files. Most of these files record some history in the Warring States period, some family abilities, and some popular ninjutsu. At the beginning of Konoha's construction and during the war, contributed a lot of information. Even now it can make some contributions to the village. However, the two masters and apprentices have turned around for more than a long time, only to get that the former Asakawa family is good at fire escape, and there is no record of any special blood succession boundary. The fire escape of Earheat is nothing in front of the Uchiha and Sarutobi families. When Konoha joined Konoha, there were only 3 or 2 big cats and kittens. After 2 battles in the ninja world, only Kyosuke was left. Could it be because the age is too old and the Asakawa family has fallen for too long? It is impossible for a kid to create bleeding and continue the boundary. Oshimaru guessed. Blood succession boundary can be created with talent. Taking his teacher as an example, Chakra, who possesses 5 attributes, has mastered the changes in attributes proficiently, and still has not created his own blood inheritance boundary. The talents and skills required are too high, not a few words. It can be summarized. And Kyosuke Asakawa is only talented, but not the kind of genius who can create his own blood. That's why Dashimaru divided this unique ability into Kyosuke's ancestors. Someone developed a unique blood succession boundary, but with the passage of time, fewer and fewer people in the clan have the talent to awaken blood succession boundaries, and finally change. Became a small family and joined Konoha. Just like Konoha's Kurama clan, it was once a famous family in the Konoha village. It has the same power as the Uchiha clan. However, as the war consumes their people in their clan, many children born in the family have not awakened families. The blood succession boundary has already declined, no longer the glory of the past. This is the same for the Moonlight clan who possesses the transcendence. It seems like this, because of the death of the parents, because of the emotional excitement, the awakened family has not been able to awaken for a long time. If it is well cultivated, maybe Konoha will have an extra blood heir group in the future. Sarutobi Risen can see the value of Kyosuke to Konoha. After all, there are not many blood inheritance limits, even Konoha. Chapter 6. Otterbomb, Oshimaru, haven't you brought any subordinates? Sarutobi Hizen asked, smoking a pipe. Hearing this, Dashimaru said, I don't have a mind to bring the kid out of the mission. It's just a waste of time. Shinzuki-kun's talent is okay. Much better than that guy from Jiraiya, but apart from the blood inheritance limit, he can't a place that makes my eyes shine. He knew exactly what the old man had in mind, so he didn't want to lead the team. It was a waste of time. If you have this time, it is better to study what is going on with Asakawa Kyosuke's ability. The conversation turned around, however, there is no problem in guiding him to practice occasionally. Let's do this. You developed his potential. You should have let Zilai also do it. After all, he is better at Huodayan, but he is still in the Kingdom of Rain, saying that he wants to teach his 3 disciples well. Sarutobi had a headache. 3 disciples, Jiraiya also taught students in the Kingdom of Rain. Tsunade suffered from panacemia because of the death of his lover. The medical ninja's career can be said to be over, and he left the village long ago. As for Dashiwan, to be honest, it is a gratifying thing to be interested in Kyosuke by spending time in the laboratory all day long. So be it. Well, I'll take these files away and study them. He picked up the files on the table and left without any lingering. Sarutobi Hizen smoked a pipe for a while and said, the ability to turn into flames, you can perform fire escape ninjutsu without the need for seals. It's really convenient. With that said, he left the archives room and re-edited the clearing file and sealed it up. Without his order, no one could read it. The matter of blood succession limitation will not leak out temporarily. Before that, the teaching of the will of fire must be carried out. Well, let's go to the school lecture tomorrow. After getting the shadow clone technique, Shinzuki began to experiment with his otter. Cough cough, it's a flame bomb. Separate a shadow clone and start the experiment. I saw that the body of the shadow clone began to burn a lot of flames, raising the heat to the highest level. Even if it could not be blown up, it could burn away a layer of skin on the opponent. The energy in the body is compressed, and then rushes towards a tree, hugs the trunk tightly, and then releases the energy in the body in one burst. Boom! A deafening explosion appeared all at once. Sawdust flew across. Countless broken stones were hit by the shockwave of the explosion like bullets, punching out several holes in his body, filled with flames, filling the holes. Ahem. Hey, the shadow clone is good for everything, just to share the pain, that's not good. Advertisement. The last feeling of the shadow clone came, and the feeling of being torn apart by the whole body was really uncomfortable. It should have been elementalized, but the chakra was not enough, so the shadow clone disappeared temporarily. The feeling of tearing is really not ordinary people can easily bear. The smoke dissipated, and he looked at the big tree with only a small section of scorched stumps and a mess around it. He knew that the flame bomb was completed, but with the shadow clone, it was the clone blasting. Although there is no otter's heart, there is still a way to reproduce this trick. I really admire Da Xuan's brainhole. He had never thought of a move that he had come up with so easily. Well, increase the power. Anyway, I am not afraid of death. The shadow clone used the chakra he deployed for blasting. In theory, if he personally used this trick, it would be more destructive. Once a new shadow clone was created, chakra split more, this time directly split the remaining chakra in half. Doppelganger blast is to use the shadow doppelganger as a bait, which can be used to die with the enemy, while the flame bomb is used to kill a ninja with a large amount of chakra, and then use the elemental ability to regenerate. The advantage of clone blasting is that you don't need to do it yourself, and the power is considerable, but the disadvantage is that the shadow clone will easily be dogged because of the attack, and it can't catch the target as quickly as possible. After all, the premise of this trick is to hug the enemy. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. But the flame bomb is the body's hands, with elementalization turned on, ignoring physical attacks. As long as there is no water escape, he has nothing to do. This also has a prerequisite. The other party didn't use a substitute technique or a clone, otherwise they worked so hard to grab someone and exploded, but it was a substitute, which would be troublesome. A stand-in cheats a big person, think about it and lose money. The shadow avatar burst into flames, and this time hugged a stone about the size of a house. Detonate. Boom. This explosion was shaking the sky and the earth was shaken, and half of Konoha could be heard. The airwave was set off, and countless stones were blown out. He even flew out far away with him, and hit a tree before he could stop. The body was smashed, and the whole body hurt to death. If it weren't for the elementalization, let the rubble pass through his body, otherwise he would have killed himself just that moment. He ran to the explosion site and found a large pit 20 to 30 meters in diameter. The surrounding trees were broken and flames were burning on it. Well, with magical damage, advertisement, great, it worked, yeah. This destructive power is very much in line with his intentions. What kind of fancy ninjutsu is required to blow up directly? Doesn't he enjoy it? At this time, a few more people with animal masks and long knives appeared beside him. What are you doing? The questioner's voice was cold and ruthless, without a trace of emotion. Experimental ninjutsu. Kyosuke swallowed and raised his hands. This is Konoha's Onbi, and of course, it may also be the root of the old thief Danzo. Facing this group of people, it is better to tell the truth. The people in Onbi were attracted by the explosion, and Konoha had such a big explosion, it shouldn't be regarded as blind. Not long after, a group of black hedgehogs wearing green vests with Konoha Police Force logo on their arms arrived and surrounded the place. The headed person is a young man with scarlet eyes. What happened here? Konoha Police Force Captain, Uchiha Tomitaki. The person from Onbi said, we are also investigating. What is certain now is that this kid did the explosion just now. Oh, that's it, the father of Urzuzi was all drawn over. The Konoha Police Force is all staffed by members of the Uchiha clan. They are responsible for maintaining public order in the village. The explosion naturally attracted them. Boy? Are you kidding? This kid can cause such a big damage? A Uchiha clan member who didn't believe that Kyosuke could cause such a big damage, scoffed at it. The people in Onbi said, there is only this kid here, and he also admitted that he did it. Don't be kidding. The people in Enbu handle things like this? Believe this kid's one-sided words, or let me tell the kid to tell everything by writing round eyes. The Uchiha clan had an arrogant tone. Kyosuke took a step back and said to Onbi, I am a disciple of teacher Ashimaru. I'm just teaching my ninjutsu by the experimental teacher. Up to now, I can only use tiger skins to make coats. Chapter 7. What is a ninja? As soon as this remark came out, the people present suddenly calmed down. You said that you were a disciple of Osamaru-sama, who believes it? The Uchiha clan was still clamoring, and Uchiha Tomitaki yelled, enough, Iwa, shut up. Team leader, to shut up. Yes. Fuyue looked at Shinzuki, observed him with the eyes of the riding wheel, and saw the strong fire attribute chakra, and said, you said you were a disciple of Lord Oshimaru. Is there any evidence? Kyosuke raised his hand, exposing the little white snake on his wrist, and said, this is the snake that teacher Dashimaru gave me. The little white snake raised his head, feeling the intricate smell in the air, and vomiting a snake letter. It's indeed a psychic beast of Ashimaru-sama. Konoha was the only person playing snakes in Konoha. This kind of white snake had no attack ability, but it was used by him to transmit information during the war. As the strongest member of the Uchiha clan now, Fuyue has seen this kind of white snake. Just a snake does not mean that the child in front of him is a disciple of Oshimaru, but at least it can show that they are closely related, otherwise, this kind of white snake will not appear in his hand. The people in Onbi also recognized it and said, but we still have to report this matter. Moreover, we have not heard that Lord Oshimaru has accepted a disciple and will come with us. Then report it. I'm sorry to trouble you. I'll be more careful next time. Do you have another time? Seriously apologize and do it next time? The corners of everyone's mouth twitched, feeling helpless. Let's go. The people in Onbi were about to take Shinzuki away, and the people on Fuyue spoke, wait, your people in Onbi are too broad. This is the management scope of our Konoha police force. This kid should be managed by us. Take away. His ninjutsu has endangered Konoha's safety and should be taken away by our Anbi. Anbi, as a direct unit of Hokage, will not be emptied by the Uchiha clan. I think it's better for me to take this kid away. The same hoarse voice, deep and full of magnetism. Master Oshimaru. Master Oshimaru. The two groups greeted Dashawan. As a disciple of the 3 generations of Naruto Sarutobi, one of the 3 ninjas with outstanding military exploits, many people in Konoha considered him to be the best candidate to succeed Naruto, and his strength is worthy of their respect. In the shadow, Oshimaru walked out of it and said, "Thank you for a trip. This kid is mine. I'll take it away." He rushed over when he heard the explosion, and now it seems that Shinzuki did a good job. He turned his head and glanced at the big hole made by Kyosuke, and asked, "What ninjutsu did you use to make this place like this?" Shinzuki replied, "It's what you mentioned before. I tried to practice today. Because of the lack of chakras, I chose to use the shadow clone instead. Innovated in your thinking and divided into 2 tricks." Advertisement. Dashiwan's eyes lit up and said, "The power is good." He turned his head to look at Fuyue and Anbi's people. This kid is a bit reckless, but he is practicing ninjutsu, so he doesn't need to take it home. Yes. After he finished speaking, the group of people in Anbi flashed away and disappeared. As for the Konoha police force, Fuyue said, "Then we will leave too, Lord Oshimaru." "Thank you for a trip, Fuyue-jun. By the way, I wish you a happy wedding." "Don't dare to be." Fuyue took people away, neither humble nor overbearing. When Oshimaru is here, he will not continue to entangle him. This may offend him, and he should not set up another powerful enemy for the Uchiha clan who are all enemies. Looking at the mess around him, Oshimaru said, "That ninjutsu, use it on me again." Oh. Boom. There was another explosion. The two waved their hands to disperse the dust in front of them. The Oshimaru received the memory from the shadow clone and said, "The power can blow up the unprepared ninja into serious injuries. If you are prepared, your shadow clone can survive." In other words, this trick can only be unexpected. Of course, the main body's words are another fate. Understood. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Okay, let's continue experimenting with your abilities when you go back. Yes. Very good. I didn't hear me making a coat with tiger skin. In the laboratory, Dashiwan took out a piece of paper and handed it to Chingia. "What is this for?" Dashimaru explained. "This is a chakra test paper, which can test the attributes of your chakra." "I'll give it a try." He also wanted to know what attributes his chakra was. Under the guidance of Dashimaru, chakra was poured into the chakra test paper in his hand, and then half of the chakra test paper in his hand was cut open and the other half was burned into Weilin. "Are natural wind attributes and fire attributes? It's okay." Suddenly he had inspiration again, and murmured. "Is it because the 2 attributes combine to have this special blood inheritance boundary? Wind and fire not only create burning escape, but also this special blood inheritance boundary? I should test him for chakra earlier." Seeing Dashimaru started to think about things, Shinzuki knew that he started again. No wonder he is a person who can master the core technology. This research spirit is enough to make people admire. He has seen it many times in the past 6 months, and every time he sees Dashimaru, he can't bear it, because the answer is wrong at the beginning. No matter how he derives the steps, he can't be right. But for the sake of his own life, he still didn't choose to go on. He was afraid of being beaten to death. "Come and experiment." Advertisement. Oh. Pai Dian followed behind Dashiwan, silently watching Dashiwan enter a dead end and can't get out. In the days before the graduation assessment, Shingia had never been to school, and all of them had asked for leave. People who didn't know thought he had dropped out, and he was actually still being tested by Dashiwan to collect data. However, after experimenting, Dashiwan was still unable to figure out the secret of the elementalization of the body, and could not find a breakthrough. In the end, he could only choose to give up. After studying for a year, he did not find out anything useful. For the time being, I focused on the previous one. An experiment. And Kyosuke also realized how heavy this guy is. Although it has not yet reached the point where humans will be used as guinea pigs, it is really unacceptable to use snakes and other animals to experiment and dissect into various strange shapes. When you are on the battlefield, you will understand that this is already considered good. Dashimaru said softly. Suddenly, he asked, "Kazuki-kun, I have a question for you. What do you think is a ninja?" "What is a ninja?" Shinzuki thought for a while and said, "It's an assassin, a tool, and a victim." Ninjas existed for war from the beginning. During the Warring States period, various ninjas were hired to fight back and forth, and they were no different from tools. Similarly, every village is the same now, except that the ninja has expanded from ninja to ninja village. A ninja can be a victim, losing his life for a task. Oshimaru was taken aback, took a deep look at Kazuki, smiled and said, "Your point of view is really interesting, but in some ways it is not wrong. In my opinion, ninja is a person who masters all ninjutsu. Therefore, I want to learn all ninjutsu. Isn't it enough to have a shadow clone? As long as the chakra is enough, the training time can be easily compressed. The most buggy training mode in the Naruto world, as long as the shadow clone is used, the training can be completed very quickly, and the accumulation of experience is extremely fast. Yes, this is my dream all the time. What about you, Kyosuke-kun? What do you want and why do you want to be a ninja?" "For what?" With a confused look on the Ching interface, he said, "It's just to live in this cruel world." "Nice ideal." Dashimaru commented, "It's good to fight for the continuation of your own life." "I think so too, haha. Then, Kyosuke-san, you have to practice hard and then amaze everyone." "Yes." Help me collect 100 milliliters of mixed venom. He took out a test tube and let him go to work. Obviously, I was still talking about life and ideals just now, so why did you let me go to work in a blink of an eye? Pooh. Chapter 8. The atmosphere suddenly burns up. The exam at the ninja school is naturally nothing to Kyosuke. Under the teaching of Oshimaru, he passed the exam that was not particularly difficult, and he was very happy with the ninja guard. He became a Konoha shinobu. Konoha's ninjas are extremely powerful, and a fight can destroy the world. Thinking about him on the ninja. Cough cough. Thinking of Kakashi and Kai fighting, don't mention it. Naruto office Sarutobi Hizen was smoking as always. On the opposite side was Oshimaru. He asked, you really don't want to take a subordinate? The student that Jilai also brought last time, Heifeng Shuiman, has become an excellent shinobu, a second-generation adult. He also learned the Flying Thunder God technique and can use it skillfully. Dashimaru. After all, Jiraiya's apprentice is his apprentice. It has nothing to do with me. Kyosuke-san's talent is okay. If he can develop his own blood inheritance boundary, it will not be a problem to become an elite. The premise is that he will not die in the mission. If you really die, there is nothing you can do. It is too normal for a ninja to die in a mission. This is our destiny. Sarutobi shook his head and often drifted in the rivers and lakes, even if he didn't get the sword. The Day of the Dead. What is his understanding of the will of fire? He is ready to sacrifice. Oshimaru said that he told his teacher about Kyosuke's thoughts, and he silenced Sarutobi Hazaki, a bit extreme, similar to his own disciple. But thinking that Kyosuke is only 9 years old, choose 2 suitable players for him. There is also a responsible Sharingan instructor, hoping to get along with him to change him. At least, Sunshine, don't have a dark personality like Dashimaru. Now he regrets letting Shinzuki stay with his disciple. The character of this child seems to be affected. Instructor Sharingan, are you really not doing it? He hoped that his disciple would change, but it was a pity that Oshimaru refused again. Sarutobi teacher. I am very busy and have no interest in taking care of little ghosts. Kyosuke-kun is not a person to take care of. He is already in his mental age. It's an adult. The door was closed, and Sarutobi smoked a few puffs of cigarettes. How come these little ghosts are so difficult to deal with one by one? School Roof, the middle-aged man with red eyes on the horse, was carrying a knife and holding his arms, standing there with a serious face. I am Yuri Zhenheng. Starting from today, I will be your Sharingan instructor. You can introduce yourself. You can talk about what you like, what you hate, and hobbies. Of course, you don't need to talk about it. Besides, it doesn't matter what you call me in private. Now, you all call me Teacher Zhenheng. He is a stern person, giving people a kind of pressure, but Kyosuke, who is accustomed to Dashimaru, said that there is nothing wrong with it. Among the three, Yurihong is the most familiar with her father. The first one said, my name is Yurihong. My favorite food is mustard octopus, and my hate food is cake. My dream is to be an excellent female ninja, and my hobby is harmony. Mom arranges flowers together. Well, it is worthy of being my little cutie. Advertisement. Yuri Zhenheng nodded. Asma on one side said, I am Sarutobi Asma. My favorite food is sausage, and my disliked food is asparagus. I like to play shogi. I have a dream, for now. Are you still confused about the future? Also normal? Kyosuke is wearing a short shirt with wide sleeves on his upper body, a pair of cropped trousers on his lower body, and leggings tied. His height is much higher than that of a year ago. His appearance is still childish, but he can vaguely see that Konoha will have another pretty boy in the future. He had no joy or sorrow, stood up, and said in a calm tone, my name is Kyosuke Asakawa. I am 9 years old this year. I live at number 16 Konoha Hot Spring Street. I am unmarried. I have just become a ninja. I usually like to practice. Click home. Do not smoke or drink. Go to bed at 10 o'clock every night. Practice chakras for 20 minutes before going to bed. Drink a cup of hot milk before going to bed to promote growth. Sleep for 8 hours a day, and never bring fatigue to the next day. Uncle Snake said I'm normal. Asma. Although I didn't understand too much, but it looks amazing. Hong. When did Asakawa become strange? Yuri Zhenheng. This kid is probably a troublesome guy. And the Uncle Snake you said is not Dashawan, right? Although it is known that Shinzuki cultivated in Oshimaru, Oshimaru has not admitted that Oshimaru accepts disciples, even if many people assume that Shinzuki is his disciple. I have a basic understanding of your situation. Well, your first mission, let's go to the Konoha training ground first. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Yes, ×3. The three small only followed Yuri Zhenheng to a small river in the Konoha training ground. With her back to the small river, Yuri Zhenheng took out 2 bells. Kyosuke. Is there no other tricks? Konoha Shinobu has no other tricks under the test? Take out your true skills. Those who can't get the bell don't have to eat it at noon. Yuri Zhenheng said. There is a limit of 1 hour, and you can use the cutting tool. He took out a clock and put it aside. Start the timer. Asma and Yurihong reacted most quickly, ran elsewhere, set up traps, and waited for the opportunity, while Kyosuke went straight up without saying a word. Yuri is really red. Why don't you look at Asma and Hong? Is it really a ninja fighting style to go up in this way? But in the next moment, Shinzuki had already bullied himself, moving fast. Advertisement. Yuri Zhenheng put away her lil heart, but saw Kiyomizu open her mouth and spit, and the hot flame occupied all her sight. Jet flames. The flames burned her face, and Yuri was really red and immediately backed away, opening her hands to seal. Water escaped water turbulence. Spit out a stream of water, collided with the flame, white mist filled, and flew out of shuriken and kuwu. Dodging lightly, Yuri Zhenhong suddenly felt that the surrounding temperature was gradually rising. Jet flames. Sure enough, the pillar of fire flew out again, and the continuous attacks made him choose to retreat. Is the kid so good now? Asma. I am not, Shirihong. I don't have one. What about people? Shinzuki found that Yuri Zhenhong had disappeared, and was puzzled. In his cuffs, the little white snake poked out his head and vomited in one direction. Is there? Shulker snake hand. Several poisonous snakes rushed out of the wide sleeves, rushing in the direction pointed by the little white snake. Penetrating into the grass and hearing an exclamation, Shinzuki pulled with his hand, and a shadow flew towards him. Subconsciously stretched out his hand and caught the shadow. Take a closer look. Asma was held in his arms by his princess. Chingjia. Asma. This is a bit embarrassing. Looking at each other in pairs, the atmosphere suddenly became burning. Chapter 9. Let's have barbecue together. Kyosuke Asakawa looked at Asma, embarrassing Asma, and said, let go of me. Silently untied the poisonous snake from him and retracted it into his sleeve. As long as I am not embarrassed, it must not be me who is embarrassed. Why did you catch me? You ask about it. Asakawa Kyosuke pointed to the little white snake and said, it should be Mrs. Zhenhong who moved behind you. I am saving your life. Thank you. Hiss tilde. The little white snake looked in one direction, which meant that there was someone there. With Asma as a lesson learned, there is a high probability that Shirihong will be red. At this time, when he heard Hong's scream, he fell out of the tree, and Asma quickly caught it. Yuri Zhenhong walked out. Even her own daughter did not hesitate to reprimand. To underestimate me. Hong, don't think that I am your father and you can make that kind of trap to restrict me. If this goes on, you three I can't even eat. Hong lowered his head and was reprimanded for not raising his head. Asakawa Kyosuke said, Ms. Zhenhong's range of action must be restricted. Otherwise, he runs around and doesn't need to grab the bell. How to do it? Asma asked. You and Hong Feng are dead, I'll attack. After speaking, he rushed forward again, shadow clone technique. Two shadow clones appeared beside them, and began to use their abilities to besiege Yuri Zhenhong. Jet flames. Musket. Yang Yan. The scene suddenly became hot, and Yuri Zhenhong dodged again and again. He wanted to draw his sword but still held back. He dodges the attack, seized the opportunity, kicked Asakawa Kyosuke, and disappeared with a bang. It was a shadow clone. Immediately backing away, Asma and Hong waited for a long time. Fire escape. How fireball art. Wind escape. Big breakthrough. The wind assisted the fire and made the fireball more violent, and his retreat was blocked. Yuri Zhenhong nodded secretly, and directly let the fireball hit him. Bang. Advertisement. Shadow clone. Hey, shadow clone, shall buy, look for it. The little white snake spit out a bifurcated snake letter, catching the red scent molecules in the air, and finally chose a direction. Over there, look at me, flame vortex. Opening his mouth, the flame swept away, spinning in the air, and finally turned into a hot fire tornado, appearing in the forest, particularly eye-catching. The fire tornado engulfed trees with hot wind, leaving only coke, which was extremely destructive. A figure flew out. Asma threw out the shuriken, and quickly sealed the seal on her hand, the art of shuriken. Shadow clone. I saw that the shurikens in the air divided into 2, 4, and 8, and instantly turned into a dense pile of them, and they plunged into Yuri Zhenhong's body accurately, and the next moment, the target became a piece of wood. Are you ready for a stand-in? Soil escape. The art of beheading in the heart? A hand appeared at Asma's feet and dragged him into the soil, leaving only one head outside. Asakawa took hold of the red arm and jumped up. As expected, another hand reached out and wanted to grab it. Live them. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Yuri Zhenhong got out of the soil and said, the response is good. Hiding behind Kyosuke Asakawa, Hong began to Yui and said, Asakawa, buy me time. No. Kyosuke Asakawa pulled out Kumo and rushed forward, launching a fierce offensive. A big hand grabbed his wrist, clenched it tightly, and let it go, but it didn't fall off. The other hand caught it and slashed towards the bell on the red waist. Yuri was really red-eyed and swift, twisting his waist to avoid the blow, but saw Kyosuke Asakawa twist his arm, trying to break free from the restraint of his palm. Doesn't he want it anymore? The secret way Asakawa Kyosuke was so young at a young age, he used his hands to loosen his strength a little, making him break free, and he was about to attack. He was in a trance and his whole body was stiff. Illusion. He immediately understood that it was red, and only his own daughter could use illusion among the three. Breaking through the illusion, but it was too late. A small hand grabbed the bell on his waist and pulled it down. It's our victory, Teacher Zhenhong. Shaking the bell on his hand, it made a crisp crashing sound. Advertisement. Picking one out for Hong, he smiled triumphantly. Yes, I thought you would be hungry, and the cooperation was very good. The red illusion seized the opportunity very well. Yuhi Mahone commented. Whether it is the illusion earlier or later, it will make Kyosuke miss it. Opportunity. Hong's illusion is what he taught. As a ninja who is good at illusion, it is not difficult to unlock his daughter's illusion, but after a short while, the bell was snatched away. These three little guys are all good seedlings. In time, they will definitely be able to catch up with him and defeat him. Perhaps, this little guy named Asakawa Kyosuke will catch up with him as quickly as possible. Then, Asma will be hungry. You two will go with me and invite you to eat a big meal. No, as a team, we have the blessings and the difficulties. I will stay here with him. Asakawa Kyosuke sat down and said. He is mainly afraid that Yuri is really red and Kakashi will be the same as Kakashi afterwards, so let's show the cooperation. Dad, no, Teacher Zhenheng, I will stay too. Hongji and Asakawa Kyosuke stayed, and she chose to stay too. Asma was very touched. You are my partners, Kyosuke, we are really good friends. Yuri Zhenheng nodded and said with satisfaction. You have a team spirit, and I am very pleased. In order to praise you, let's forget about this big meal. The three of you will not eat it. In addition, you will go to the Hokage building tomorrow morning and wait. Stay with me, receive our first mission there, and that's it. After speaking, he left instantly. 3 people. Kyosuke Asakawa said to Hong speechlessly. I can't tell, your dad, who looks quite honest and reliable, would actually make such a joke. I don't know. The unsmiling dad actually has such a side, he went home and told his mom that his dad would not give me food. Can you let me out first? I'll invite you to a big meal later, let's have barbecue together? But dad said. Kyosuke Asakawa started digging up, do you believe you were joking? Red, don't be too honest, tell you a truth, a man's mouth, a deceitful ghost. Yes, my dad often fools my mother at home. Asma nodded in agreement, and suddenly said, of course, I am a good man, and I will never deceive a girl. Ba, Shinjia, don't get dirt in my mouth, it's dirty. Oh, sorry, I did it subconsciously. I think you are greedy for other people's bodies. Red is now firmly established. What's so beautiful, what can you do at a young age? It is worthy of being a 3-generation species, and certain things are engraved in DNA and passed on to the next generation. Chapter 10. Exterminate the bandit. Sha Ren's daily routine is picking up trash, bringing children, doing farm work, looking for pets, etc. As a fledgling novice, most of the tasks he received were D-level tasks. Finally, when he received the 10th D-level mission, Konoha's second prince quit. No, I don't want to take on such boring tasks anymore. Asma jumped in the task hall of the Naruto building, and was almost rolling around, crying, making trouble, and hanging himself. Yuhi Mahone was very helpless when he saw this. On one side, Hong and Asakawa Kyosuke secretly compared a thumbs up. They also feel that the daily routine of picking up rubbish is not what they want, and that the life of a ninja should be more exciting, what it would be like to be so peaceful. You were just being forbearing not long after leaving school. It is not suitable for you to take on higher level tasks. Yuri Zhenheng knew that the child was impetuous, so he stopped. Sarutobi Hijan met his son's stubborn look, knowing that his son was having a temper with him, and felt a little guilty in his heart. As Hokage, he wanted to focus on the village and not spend much time with his family. He sighed and said, in view of you guys, the previous tasks have been completed well, so let's make an exception and give you a C-level task this time. The 3 cheered. Sarutobi Risen opened the scroll of the C-level mission and picked one who could hone these little guys, and said, there is a group of bandits on Sumian Mountain, 25 kilometers southeast of Konoha village. How about the task of destroying the employer's son and rescuing the hostages? Do you want to take it? Exterminate all, don't you keep one? It's really a task suitable for them. Yuri Zhenheng looked at his 3 subordinates and said, I'll take this task. Axie, I finally have a stimulating task. Asma jumped up happily, and Hong was looking forward to it. Asakawa frowned, then stretched it out, seeming to persuade herself in her heart. With a panoramic view of the expressions of the 3 little guys, Sarutobi nodded and watched the 4 leave the mission hall. The equipment was neatly packed, and Yuri Zhenheng took the 3 of them to the destination. On the way, he and the 3 said, the number of bandits in this group is between 50 and 70, or even more. The employer asked us to wipe out all bandits. Therefore, we cannot let one go, and we must guarantee the hostages will not be harmed. Kyosuke Asakawa asked, the appearance of a hostage. Advertisement. Yuri Zhenheng took out the portrait. On it was a young boy who seemed to be about the same age as them. Remember his appearance and make sure that he is not harmed. After successfully rescued, don't let any bandits run away and destroy them all. This is the mission. Are the lives of a group of people just a C-level mission? Asakawa shook his head, secretly saying that human lives are worthless, but he also knows that this world is like this. To become a ninja must be psychologically prepared to take away the lives of others for the mission. Just for the task. The 4 hurried to their destination and arrived at the destination in the afternoon. After consulting their employers, the 4 marched towards Sumian Mountain. At dusk, they were hiding in a tree, looking at the bandits full of gangsters below, gathering together to chat and beat, drink and eat meat, and have a happy life. The 4 of them hid and ate bitter food pills. Yuri Zhenheng said, unless your lives are endangered this time, I will not take action. The plan will be cleared out. Remember, the mission is to wipe out, understand? Yes. Yuri's true red disappeared. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi, Kyosuke Asakawa said, if this is the case, then, I will get rid of the head of the bandit, Asma. You and Hong touched the hostage and rescued the hostage. Then, I pretended to be the bandit boss and gathered all the bandits. You rush back as fast as you can, and kill those guys with me. I object. I will kill the bandit boss. Asma raised his hand. Really? Then I'll be with Hong Tilda? The voice stretched, and Hong nodded, and said, I have no problem. She is a phantom ninja, and frontal fighting is not suitable for her. Asma looked at Hong and suddenly said, I'll go and rescue the hostages with Hong. You go. Remember to start faster. Hey, I see. Let's do it in dark. It is good. As night fell, the 3 moved separately. The bandits live in the cottage and are not disciplined. For the 3 ninjas, it is not difficult to sneak in, but rather easy. By the night, the 3 caught a bandit. Hong immediately controlled the bandit with illusion, and asked where the hostage and the bandit boss were. Then, Kyosuke Asakawa took out kunai, covered his mouth, and stroked, opened his throat. Advertisement, hey, Kyosuke, you. Asuma's face turned pale, Asakawa's face was also pale, and a little nauseated, and said, we must learn this. Isn't the task given by Hokage-sama for us to see blood otherwise? So many sea-level tasks cannot give us this task. You should have noticed that teacher Zhenhong gave everything to us along the way. As a ninja, killing is commonplace. Sooner or later, you have to learn it. The 3 generations want to hone them. Only after the baptism of blood and fire can they bloom with dazzling brilliance. I know, it's just, Asuma lowered her head and said, it's just that, we are ninjas. Kyosuke Asakawa stood up, his face still pale, dragged the corpse into a bush, and whispered, don't forget the rules of a ninja. The task is above all else. Hong and Asuma stood up, they were still trembling, but they adjusted their state quickly and said, I will leave it to you over there. Then they melted into the night. Kyosuke Asakawa exhaled, and the nausea struck again. He desperately held back his trembling legs and cheered himself up. Really, I can't be better than 2 children, but I adjusted it so quickly. It's worth it. Ninja. It must be done, and if you choose this path, you can't regret it. He gritted his teeth, slapped himself, readjusted, and started to approach the wooden house where the bandit boss was. This guy's place is easy to find, the best one in the cottage is the only 2-story cabin. I approached the wooden house silently, listening to the sound of drinking and making laughter inside, secretly removing a tile. Looking down from the top, I saw a bald head hugged a woman in her 30s with a good body and a normal appearance, is drinking and eating, by the way molesting the woman in her arms. Shao Bai, go and kill them. The little white snake on his wrist climbed onto the roof and crawled into the room silently. While the 2 in the room were still laughing, he took a bite on the back of the bandit boss's instep. After drinking too much alcohol, the unresponsive bandit boss didn't notice the pain at all, and continued to put his arms around the woman, but he didn't know that death was already coming. Chapter 11. Uncle Snake, master the cord technology. Hee, you are still much better than the yellow-faced woman in my house. The bandit boss was drunk and hugged the woman. Oh, I hate it, Tilda. The woman yelled, I just abandoned my family to you. Ha, the sick ghost in your family can't satisfy you, right? Just let me. Hiss, what? The bandit boss felt a pain in his instep, as if he had been stung by a mosquito. He didn't care. He was rough anyway. The flesh was so thick that the woman also felt pain in her ankles, and when she looked down, a white snake's tail disappeared. Snake. The woman exclaimed and stood up, and then she felt dizzy. The bandit boss took her in her arms. Hey, what's the matter with you? Next, he also felt weak. He lost consciousness on one leg and wanted to speak, but he couldn't open his mouth and couldn't feel the existence of his mouth. The 2 people foamed, their bodies twitched and fell down. The little white snake stuck out his head, spitting out a snake letter, very satisfied with their fate. Seeing this, Kyosuke Asakawa climbed down from the roof, entered the room, and checked the pulse of the 2. There was nothing, and he whispered, don't blame me, I'm a ninja, just for the mission. Dragged their bodies onto the bed, covered them with quilts, and became the appearance of the bandit boss, pinching their throats, changing their voices, and finally determined a voice line, just like the bandit boss, coughing, and walked out the door, scolded and said, where are the people? Where are the people? Where are all the dead? Come here for me. With his roar, a light was turned on in the cottage, and some bandits in pants, carrying knives, ran out of the room and asked, boss, what's the matter? Who are you going to cut? Call everyone here, there's a big deal. The eyes of the few people lit up, and one of them asked, boss, what kind of big business? The big business that can afford to eat. Call all the brothers in the cottage, I have something to say. This order is completed, the big guys don't have to worry about their future livelihoods. This is good, let's go call someone. The bandits immediately went down to call someone. At this time, a figure fell beside him, it was Asuma, and said, the man has been rescued, Hong is taking care of her, the bandit boss is dead? Poisoned to death. Asakawa Kyosuke said softly. Asuma was silent for a while, and then said, I see, wait for someone to come. Okay, you hide and block their escape, it is good. The figure flashed and disappeared. Soon after, about 50 or 60 bandits gathered together, and a group of them said uncomfortably, boss, what should we do if the kid we caught ran away? Before Kyosuke Asakawa could speak, the younger brother said loudly, don't worry about him, how much is it worth? The boss said, after the ticket is finished, the big guy doesn't have to worry about the future. By the way, boss, we want what big business? Advertisement. Kyosuke Asakawa said, it's a big deal, is everyone here? 3 brothers are missing. 2 of those who take care of the kid are probably chasing after him, and one of them doesn't know where they're going. It is estimated that the 2 were killed by Asuma and the others, and the remaining one was killed by himself. Nodded, raised his hand, and said, okay, let's do it. After speaking, he jumped to one side of the roof. Do it? What do you do, boss? What are you doing? This group of bandits didn't know why, and then they heard a sudden sound. The shuriken shadow clone technique. The sky full of shurikens fell from the sky. Oh, it hurts. Boss, what's going on? No, this is a ninja attack. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Someone asked a ninja to kill us. No, I don't want to die yet, Master Ninja, please let me go. The bandits want to escape, but where can they escape with the sky full of shurikens? Some were fatal and were stabbed in a non-lethal place like the arm, and some were badly stabbed in the heart, head, etc., and were killed on the spot. Kyosuke Asakawa changed back to his appearance, bursting into flames all over, spitting flames. The flame ignited these bandits, ignited the cottage. Became the only light in the mountains in the dark night. Oh, it's burnt to death. No, I don't want to die yet. Oh, it hurts. The cottage was turned into a sea of flames under the attack of Asakawa Kyosuke and Asma. They did not let a bandit escape, and the mission was completed. Advertisement. The air was full of burnt odors, making them both frown, holding back their nausea. Yuri Zhenheng came behind them and said, "Learn to get used to it. Ninja is like this, either you kill me or I kill you. As long as it is a task, it must be completed, and there is no room for bargaining. I know that from the moment I became a ninja, I have been prepared for this," Asakawa said with a cough. "Me too. How about hostage and Hong? It has been safely transferred, and Hong is escorted to the employer under the mountain. It is estimated that Hong will return soon. Your mission this time has been completed very well." Yuri Zhenheng was very satisfied with the performance of the three. "I think I'll continue to take D-level tasks next time. Every time I take such tasks, I really can't accept it." Asma shook his head and said, "The old man is ruthless enough, this time the task will be so troublesome." Yuri Zhenheng said, "Not every C-level mission is like this. Of course, now you are still forbearing, and more naturally, you will take D-level missions. As for C-level missions, not every time. Well, this time I go back to treat you guys to a good meal, and I'm leaving. I want to rest when I go back. I don't have much appetite." "Me too." Seeing the two of them like this, Yuri Zhenheng smiled and said, "Forget it then. Still have to adapt. I'm still young." He believed that the three of them would become excellent ninjas. The four returned to Konoha, did not go to celebrate with a big meal, and went home to rest each, without any appetite for several days. "Let me tell you, Shinzuki, I have had nightmares for several days, and my mother feels so distressed." When it came time to take the task again, the four gathered together, Asma said. "Oh, I recovered the day before yesterday. A child with a mother is like a treasure. He has no mother but root grass, and he has to do experiments with Uncle Snake. In addition to practicing in the past few days, he went to Uncle Snake's place to check in and do experiments in beat hands, that is, handing over scissors, scalpels, etc. Uncle Snake said on a whim that he didn't understand. Anyway, he said, he just listens and can listen. How much he knows depends on his own comprehension. Uncle Snake's experiment has not yet been transferred to the human body, but he still has a bit of a heavy mouth, watching and watching. He got used to it, and walked out of the shadows. Uncle Snake, Master the Core Technology, Chapter 12. Cao Zhe is angry. Huh? There are C-level missions again? Isn't it what kills the bandits again? Yuri Zhenheng took on his C-level mission, which made the three people very suspicious that it was another mission to see blood. No, this time is an escort task. We are hired by a wealthy businessman in the country of fire. I hope we can escort him to the country of Yuno and escort him back. During this period, we are responsible for our food, clothing and accommodation. We just need to guarantee his safety is enough. In addition to us, there is a small team that also takes over this task and will act with us. This is not a dangerous task, just to relax these little guys. Yuno-kuni, I heard that the hot springs over there are special. Yeah, although Konoha also has hot springs, I also want to try other countries' special hot springs. Speaking of which, isn't your home Kyosuke in the hot spring street? Ah, yes, although it's in the hot spring street, I rarely go to soak. After all, I have a hot spring in my house. Kyosuke said that he actually wants to make himself a bathhouse, but he is still young and doesn't have this ability. And the hot springs are not too big, so if you soak too much, you don't need to put bath water every night, it's very nice. Is there a hot spring at home? No wonder your skin is so good, Hong said enviously. Qingji's skin is so good that she is envious of this girl. Nothing, Born, it's definitely not a hot spring. At this time, Yuri Zhenheng coughed, interrupted a few people to chat, and said, "You go home and pack your bags, bring a change of clothes and the necessary endurance equipment. As for the others, you don't need to bring them, pack lightly. After half an hour, gather at the door, and the team with us will be there waiting for us." Yes. The three of them ran home immediately, ready to change their clothes. Qingjia installed some changes of clothes and a novel to pass the time on the road. He put on his backpack and left home. By the way, he asked a snake to bring a note to Dashimaru, saying that he had a mission and would not be able to come these days. To be honest, although Uncle Snake is cold, he is not that difficult to touch, just talk less, it refers to him now. I won't know anymore. Konoha Kyosuke arrived early, and Yuri Zhenheng was already waiting there. On the side of the sedan chair, there was a fat, and kind-looking middle-aged man, and beside the middle-aged man was a middle-aged man. The handsome guy with blonde hair and blue eyes was talking to him. Wearing a green waistcoat on the forbearance, with a blue tights underneath, with a sunny smile on his face, he is a warm man. Well, this face is not under me. Advertisement. Kiyomizu glanced, so sure. Teacher Real read. He greeted him and came to Yuri Zhenheng's side. "Mr. Yuhi, are these your subordinates?" "It's really early," Nuon Nan said, the taste of kirajiing in a mouthful, which is a bit dirty. Although Kyosuke knows who this person is, he can't help but go. Think about that scene. Bullying. It's a bit dirty to say. You guys, don't confuse voice actors with characters. JPG. Cough. Fortunately, Bofemizu wants to become the Konoha ninja of Naruto, not an office worker who longs for a peaceful life. It's okay. This is the instructor of Class 7, Heifeng Mizumon, a reliable person. Mizumon, This is my subordinate Kyosuke Asakawa. Hello, Teacher Watergate. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Hello, Kyosuke-kun. Mizumon smiled and greeted him with a gentle smile, impeccable, worthy of the future 4 generations, Konoha's yellow flash. Shinji Jun and Daidu are classmates, right? You can have a good chat later. I hope you won't be late. After all, Tai-2 is a godman who can be late for zakat on Saturday 7 times. Hearing this, Mizumon smiled bitterly. Bringing the soil is a very hardworking child. Although he belongs to the Uchiha clan, his personality is completely different from that of the Uchiha clan. He is cheerful and optimistic and helpful, but the only thing that is not good is that it is easy. Late. It's hard to tell, but I just went home to pick up things, so I shouldn't be late. It's hard to tell. Watergate is also very helpless. At this moment, a figure fell. It was a silver-haired boy with a short knife on his back, black tights, iron armor armguards on his arms, and a face mask covering his face, as if he couldn't see anyone, only a pair of dead fish eyes were exposed. Konoha's genius, Kakashi Hagi. Advertisement, Mr. Watergate. The young Kakashi's voice was flat, with indifference that turned away thousands of miles away. It is also normal that his father, Tsukumo Hagiki, was cast aside by the people in the village because of a failed mission. He committed suicide in despair. He witnessed his father's sorrowful ending and caused great trauma to Kakashi's young mind. He was in the ninja school, stayed for a year, then applied for graduation, and became Zanran in the 2nd year. Kakashi, you came really early. This is your former classmate, Shinzuki. Yo, Kakashi. The facial paralysis now, the sand sculpture in the future. Therefore, Kaihuing is awesome. He is the only one who can bring Kakashi like that. Facing Shinsuke's greeting, Kakashi nodded politely and stood quietly beside Watergate, which was very embarrassing. Watergate smiled bitterly. The team is not easy to lead. Soon after, Asma and Hong, as well as the only girl in the Watergate team, Lin Yi-yuan, also came to the door one after another. With Lin's appearance, Watergate finally felt no longer embarrassed. After all, Kakashi's temperament was cold, and coupled with the short stay in school, it is normal to be unfamiliar with Kyosuke. Lin is different. They graduated together and have a good relationship. I heard Lin said that she has a good relationship with Tai-2 and Shinzuki. Well, Tai-2 is sometimes bullied. That guy is really late again, Kakashi said dissatisfiedly. Now that the time has been set, it must be observed. People like Daiduo make him very upset. Haha, the soil is still the same. Yeah, didn't you call him Lin? Shinzuki asked with a smile. Well, I called when I left home. He said he will come right away and let me go first, Lin said embarrassedly. Well, so, I guess this guy has encountered an elderly person who needs help on the road. On the other side, because the agreed time has passed, Mizumon has already started to explain to the employer, Mr. Kazama, and he kept apologizing. Mr. Kazama is a businessman who always abides by the agreement. He is very unhappy with this kind of thing, but because he thinks of the need on the road later. They came to guard and didn't say anything. Watergate was also very helpless, and hoped that he would not be too late for bringing the soil, otherwise, this sea-level mission would probably be ruined. He doesn't care about this reward, but it's hard to justify losing the task because of being late. Chapter 13. The protagonists are all played at the end. The protagonist is the last to appear. Dai-2 is convinced of this sentence, but he definitely does not want to be late to appear on the stage, so that he is not the protagonist at all. On the way, because he met an old grandfather who fell down, he was taken to Konoha Hospital. After calling him a doctor and nurse, he hurried to the entrance of Konoha. Sure enough, the annoying guy Kakashi looked at himself impatiently. Who do you show with a stinky face all day? He wanted to scold him because he was late. Ms. Watergate also looked at herself very troubled, and Kyosuke and Asma were also there. Sorry, Teacher Watergate, I'm late. It's okay, don't do this again next time. We are going to do the task, not something else. It's definitely possible to be late for this kind of thing again. Mizumon sighed and apologized to Mr. Kazama. After all, the subordinates who did not discipline well were themselves' fault. Yes, Teacher Watergate, with the arrival of the soil, the 2 teams arrived. Mr. Kazama sat in the sedan chair, and a dedicated person carried it, and everyone officially embarked on the itinerary to Unokuni. By the way, bring the soil, is this your first time out of Konoha? On the way, Kyosuke asked the enthusiastic bring the soil. Of course, this is the first time I have left Konoha at this age, Taito said excitedly. I want to see a different view from Konoha. Hey, this cheerful boy and the villain who wants to destroy the world in the future are not alone at all. That's right, apart from doing tasks, we can't leave Konoha without reason. It's really exciting to perform this kind of task for the first time, Lin said. Is this your first time out? No, Kyosuke recalled the bad memory and said, forget it, I won't talk about it. The last mission is still fresh in my memory and I don't want to talk about it. Dai-2 blinked, always feeling that the topic became heavy, so he changed the topic. Do we need to pay attention to this mission, Teacher Watergate? Watergate said, generally speaking, escort missions are not very dangerous. It is enough to protect the safety of the employer. Of course, you should pay attention to some thieves on the road. Speaking of the trio of bandits, Kyosuke's faces were not so pretty. Kakashi noticed the faces of the 3 of them and asked, what's wrong with you? The last mission out of the village was related to bandits? Advertisement, I don't want to talk about this, me too. Sorry, Kakashi, we don't want to talk. After all, the first time a person was killed, this kind of memory will never fade away. Yuri Zhenheng glanced at his subordinates and shook his head. They were all children. Watergate also came from this time, I can probably guess, so he led the topic to other places. Yunokuni is located to the northeast of the Fire Country. It is famous for its beautiful natural scenery. It's just that Yunokuni also has a ninja village. Will they bother us when we go this way? Asked Taito. Not long after the Second Ninja World War had passed, the relations between the countries were still a bit tense. Watergate explained. Don't worry, Tongjiguo and Hojiguo have always maintained a good cooperative relationship, and after the Second Ninja World War, Tanjian Village is no longer what it used to be. In the Second Ninja World War, Tanjian Village suffered heavy losses and has long lost its glory. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Moreover, there are two teachers, Watergate and Zhenheng, who are here, so there is no need to worry. Kakashi said, rather than worry about this, it is better to worry that you will be late when we leave. Hole. That's just an accident. There is no old man and old lady I know in Yuzukuni. With a rustic jump, the dignified topic at the beginning gradually changed in the direction of what should be bought in Yuzukuni. Soon after, they entered a town. Mr. Kazama took his goods here, and the way of driving was changed from the 11th bus to a horse-drawn carriage. Looking at the convoy behind, pulling large and small goods, it is no wonder that two ninja teams are required to escort, but why the other party did not let Zongren escort it is unknown. In order to protect the convoy, the two leading teachers divided the work and cooperated. The Watergate team was responsible for the first half of the convoy, exploring the way and protecting the employer. The True Red team is responsible for the second half, guarding against sneak attacks and protecting the goods. The same is true for the night vigil. The two teams are watching separately, one in the first half of the night and the other in the second half of the night. These arrangements are changed on a daily basis. Sitting on a carriage with cargo tied to it, and looking at some deep rut marks in the soil, Kiyomizu was a little interested in the cargo being transported. Thinking about it, I was stopped by Yuri Zhenheng. It is not allowed to snoop on the employer's secrets, understand? Don't do it again next time. Yes. Advertisement what the employer sells has nothing to do with them, as long as the task is completed. I will patrol the back. Shinzuki ran to the back obediently. Although this was just a simple escort task, it did not mean that there was no danger. The beasts on the road, the bandits who might suddenly jump out, are all potential enemies. Suddenly, the little white snake in the sleeve stuck out his head, pointed in one direction, and spit out the snake letter. Seeing this, there should be enemies. Stop! A group of bandits suddenly jumped out, looking fierce and horrible, with sturdy backs, horses running on their shoulders, and people standing on their fists. At first glance, they are the kind that can be beaten. Robbery. Hand over all your things, and spare you not to die. The headed man's voice was rough, and the machete in his hand shone coldly in the sun. Bandits. Without a word, Shinzuki rushed out, kicked the man's face, kicked off all his teeth, and splashed blood. Big brother. What are you doing, big brother, why did you lose? Bandit brother. I got up, I was stunned, what can I say? Several bandits shouted, picked up their eldest brother and ran away, as if they were coming out to be funny. Go ahead. A small episode, do not need to care. The convoy moved slowly. A group of people did not hurry on the road and moved slowly. A group of people jumped out shortly after thinking that there was nothing to do. This group of people and the bandits just now are not the same kind of people. They are all wearing swords. Although they are sloppy, their aura is far more fierce than those bandits, full of blood. This is a group of wandering warriors, the so-called Ronin. They focused on the convoy and Mr. Kazama's money, followed all the way, and decided to take a shot in the wilderness, wanting to bury all the people in front of them here, so that they can sell off the convoy's goods and make another profit. Pen. After all, they are wandering warriors no one raises. Chapter 14. Samurai strikes. With the emergence of Ninja Village, the samurai began to gradually withdraw from the stage of history. They were replaced by ninjas who were also able to serve as an army. In addition to some great powers and nobles who also raised some samurai, only the Iron Country was the leader of the samurai country now. Ninjas replaced the samurai's army position, which also caused a large number of samurai to lose their financial resources. Many samurai have a bad impression of ninjas, which is also the source of this. Originally in the Warring States period, ninjas could only be hired and could not be used as an army. The country and nobles still recruited a large number of samurai to serve as an army, siege the city and expand the territory for them. Later, with the establishment of Ninja Village, the status of samurai began. Gradually replaced by ninjas, the status of the samurai has been lowered over the years. The Ronin who stood in front of them was also a down-and-out warrior. The headed samurai, with long hair tied into a ponytail, with a scar on his left face, wearing a dark robe, carrying a large sword and ribs. He said coldly, "Leave the goods, you can go." Mizumon stepped forward and said, "We are Konoha's ninjas. We are dedicated to escorting this shipment. Please don't make us embarrassed." The samurai chief sneered and said, "It has nothing to do with me, Konoha's ninja, and I am not just a group of ninjas who have never killed Konoha." Surrounded by his team of people, everyone was holding a knife in their hands, looking terrifying, and the crew of the team was scared to hide, and at this time, all that was needed was a ninja's shot. Yuri Zhenheng said, "They do it first, we do it again." "Are you going to kill them?" Qingjie asked. "Try not to. If you can't stop it, it doesn't matter if you kill." "Got it. When you come out, you must have the consciousness of being killed." There are 25 people in this group, and none of them seem to be annoying. Holding kunai, ready to fight at all times. Watergate took a step back and said, "Then there is nothing to talk about." "What do you say? Do it." The samurai chief yelled and drew the long sword around his waist. Following his order, the group of warriors also drew the sword and slashed towards the crowd. Ding! Kunai and Tachi collided with sparks, and Kyosuke was repelled by this force. His current strength was still too small to be able to collide with the adult samurai. Humph! Once the ninja is close, it is not the opponent of a samurai at all. You guys who only know how to use ghost tricks are a bunch of rubbish. Advertisement. Shulking Snake Hand. With a wave of Kyosuke's hand, several snakes rushed towards the samurai. The samurai swung down, cut off the snake's head, and slashed at Kyosuke's head. Bang! Splitting a steak with a knife, Kyosuke stepped forward to the back of the samurai, kunai pierced through his heart. You. Feeling the pain, the body of the samurai fell to the ground. Kyosuke took a deep breath and turned to look at the other samurai. Yuri Zhenhong defeated several of them, and he stood there, and the ninjas who met him fell down one by one, holding their heads and roaring, their expressions horrified, as if they had seen something terrible. Illusion is terrible. Illusion-type ninja is terrifying. The body dodges the long knife that was hacked from behind, and a rounding kick hit the stomach of the sneak attacker. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi, flames condensed in the hands, aiming at that side and spraying out. Jet flames. The guy whose whole body was ignited was so painful that he rolled back and forth on the ground, screaming again and again. He looked at Asma and found that he didn't need to worry about it. As the son of 3 generations of Hokage, he had a family relationship and had a lot of ninjutsu in his hands. In addition to his lack of actual combat experience, he was still okay. And Hong, like her father, was a phantom ninja, standing there, and the samurai who met her were all knocked down by the illusion. In the Watergate squad, Kakashi killed most of the samurai alone, bringing Tu and Lin to solve the younger half. As for Watergate, he has put his special kunai on the throat of the samurai leader. It's just a blink of an eye, how can it be? The samurai leader who pulled out half of the sword was in a cold sweat. He didn't see the opponent's movements clearly at all, and was so ashamed to be solved by the opponent. You lose. Your people also lose. Are you Konoha's Shanin team? No comment. Watergate stunned the samurai leader, and the plunder was over. There were no casualties in this area of the convoy. Advertisement. Mr. Kazama asked Mizumon and the others to tie up the group of survivors and bury the dead on the spot. By the way, more than a dozen people died, and 10 of them belonged to Kakashi. Don't look at the same age as Kyosuke and the others, they are more ruthless than anyone else, and the opponents he encountered are all throats. The swordsmanship of the Hagiki family is first rate. In the past, Sakumo Hagi with a short knife, from Konoha killing to Sheian village, without blinking his eyes, the king of Konoha was invincible. The mother-in-law's son and daughter-in-law were hacked to death and died on the spot. The Sheian village who killed was terrified, and it was so terrifying to the point where the child stopped crying. It's a pity that such a big man didn't die on the battlefield, but died in the village, which is embarrassing. Konoha lost a shadow-level combat power, and the other 4 ninja villages almost laughed off their teeth. I heard that the 3 generations of Fengying, who had a hard time next door, specially added 3 dishes and 1 soup to his dinner. Frontier town of Unokuni. With the end of the Second Ninja World War, commerce rose again. The boss of Unokuni died of illness after the war, and the new daimyo succeeded him. Instead of focusing on Tanjian village, he focused on developing the unique scenery of Unokuni. Attracting tourists and wealthy businessmen to and fro, turning the country into a major tourist country, and starting to make money. With the continuous reduction of funding, Tanjian village has also begun to decline, not returning to the edge of the past. Most of the border towns of Unokuni are trading towns, where a large number of merchants do business here, as well as the wealthy aristocrats who come here to travel, make this town noisy and prosperous. The scenery here is also good, and there are special hot springs in Unokuni. This task is not only to escort Mr. Kazama to here, but also to escort him back after he finishes his business. Therefore, during the period of his business, Shinjia and the little guys can act at will. As for the safety of Mr. Kazama was handed over to Mizumon and Yuri Zhenhong. Although it is not in compliance with the rules, Mizumon and Yuji Zhenhong agree that it is best to let these children relax, get tired of boating and enjoy the natural scenery of Unokuni. So, they put 6 people off for a few days, as long as they don't cause trouble, stay away from the 3 forbidden ninjas, and remember to go back to the hotel where they left to rest at night. This is considered a vacation for the children, and it's up to them to arrange it. Combination of work and rest is the best choice. Chapter 15, Beautiful Like Me. In the hot spring, Kyosuke, Asma, Taito, and Kakashi put the towel on their heads, soaking in the hot spring, bringing the soil to relax lazily. It's so comfortable. Compared with Konoha's, the hot springs in Unokuni are more comfortable. Streams of hot air emerged from the hot springs, forming a hazy, dreamy mist. The 4 of them soaked in the hot springs. Kyosuke looked at Kakashi, who was wrapped in a towel, and asked, "Kakashi, do you take a hot spring? What do you cover your face for?" He was very curious about Kakashi's face. He knew he was a handsome guy, but it was not clear how handsome the live-action version was. Sneered with dirt, couldn't you have buck teeth or thick lips? Shameless, haha. Bored. Dead fish stared at the dirt, but he still took off the hot towel wrapped around his face, for nothing else, just feel hot. Behind the hot towel is a handsome face. He will look like a handsome guy in the future. There is a beauty mole on the side of his mouth, and his face is cold. If he smiles, he is probably more handsome. A lie, a lie? Bringing the soil screamed, you guy must have used the transformation technique, you can't be so handsome. Well, it's really handsome, I'm almost catching up with me, Kyosuke said, touching his chin. I'm such a handsome boy, and Konoha can only be compared to him by Kakashi. Huh. I still don't have a handsome man. Teidu understood the reality, but still refused to admit defeat. Fortunately, this guy wore a mask all day long, otherwise, in front of Lin, I would really lose out. Asuma nodded in agreement, catch up with me too. Do not, you Sarutobi clan are all looking very sophisticated faces, don't have a B number in your heart. When you grow a beard, the Sarutobi clan's genes will become prominent. Kyosuke and Dato looked at him, and Asuma felt her eyes, her face flushed. What are your eyes? What do you mean? It's boring. I just think you are shameless, said with a smile. ***, you are also a shameless. Asuma rushed towards the soil, and the two started fighting in the hot spring. Shinzuki and Kakashi moved to the side in silence, watching the two of them mess around. Suddenly, Kakashi asked, well, Asakawa, the fire escape you used before was released from your hands, is it a special ninjutsu? He was very interested in Kyosuke's way of releasing fire escape with his hands. You said this, it is the blood inheritance of the family, it hasn't been awakened for many generations. When I suddenly awakened, it can turn my body into a flame, similar to the hydration secret technique of the ghost lamp family in Wuyin village. He raised a hand, and his hand was burning with raging flames. Fortunately, the devil fruit is localized, and there is no curse of the sea, otherwise, you can soak yourself to death by just taking a bath at home. If this spreads out and soaks himself to death in a bath at home, then his reputation will be lost. Is there still this kind of blood inheritance limit? It's really peculiar. Kakashi nodded, knowing that he asked a little bit beyond the interface, and that's it. On the other hand, Asuma and Daidu started splashing water on each other, and they drenched one of the two people on the side. Shinji threw the towel on their heads and joined the battlefield. You two guys are looking for death. Advertisement, naive. Kakashi shook his head, feeling that it was not suitable for him, and decided to go ashore. Before he climbed ashore, he was dragged down by the soil, and the four of them made a mess. After making a fuss for a while, the four stopped, brought Dirt and Asuma sneakily to the edge of the partition. The next door was the female soup, where Hong and Lin took a bath. Kakashi. Shinji. What's so beautiful about the little girl? There is no beautiful big sister next door. Therefore, the kid is the kid, at least it has to wait until 10 or no, 5 years later, it will be worth watching. Aren't you going? Kakashi looked at Shinji and asked. Who do you think of me? Am I going to be like those two scumbags? Kyosuke was filled with indignation, pointing at Taito and Asuma. I have never seen such a brazen person. This time I saw two people. At this moment, he is a giant. Oh, you are much more noble than them. Kakashi felt it was rare to have such a normal classmate. Kyosuke said solemnly. Of course, Hong and Lin are cute, but they are not good in figure. Now it makes no sense to peep. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi, Kakashi. Can I take back what I just said? You're the most abnormal one? After fighting for a while, they also got up and prepared to stroll the streets here. Put on clothes and go shopping with ease. Two licking dogs, Daitu and Asuma, followed the two girls. Kakashi slipped away by himself, while Kyosuke entered a gambling house with a transformation technique. This is a good saying, people don't have windfalls, they don't get rich, and Ma Wuyakao is not fat. All the money he spends on missions is used to buy ninjas. Thieves who detonate talisman waste money, plus D-level missions they can't make money. To a few dollars, now, we have to find a way to make a fortune. As soon as I entered the gambling house, I saw a group of people gathered together, and the whole gambling house was on the same table. A group of people bet against one person. It's not that one person slaughtered the quartet, but that group of people made a lot of money. The legendary big sheep, big in every sense, Ma. Subconsciously touched his nose, not so unbearable, but it seemed to feel a little itchy. Is this body also young? Advertisement. This is a big bet. The blonde double ponytail slapped the table and put the money on it, and there was a wave of turbulent waves. Is it really just like that? We bet on the small. Everyone bet. The legendary big fat sheep is neither slaughtered nor slaughtered, and there is no such shop after passing this village. Small. Big sheep refused to admit defeat and continued to bet, come again. Beside her, a little girl said bitterly, Suna-sama, we really can't lose anymore. It doesn't matter. Silence, this will definitely make me come back. You have to believe me. Tsunade has one of the 3 major illusions in life, and I can come back. This is betting me small. Seeing this, Shinsuke took out his last savings from the task, 50,000 taels. Take me one. I'll bet. It's so bold. Haha. We are also betting big. Nothing else. This little brother is so bold. That's right. Bet big. Open. Big. Double the principal and continue to bet all. Finally, the big fat sheep is no longer fat, and Shinji's wallet is fat. Looking at his bulging wallet, is this the feeling of a rich person? The big sheep had no money, and everyone returned to the initial situation, fighting on their own. Shinsuke accepted it as soon as he saw it, and slipped away. He had just passed an alley when a ruthless iron hand pulled him in. Ooh. Help. Someone abducted a handsome madam in broad daylight. Chapter 16. Tsunade. Bang. It hurts. With a fist on the head, a red envelope appeared, and the transformation technique was also relieved in the blow. Kyosuke touched his head and squatted on the ground. It hurts. It hurts. It feels like my head is about to be cracked. Sure enough, it's a ninja. Tsunade looked at the Konoha ninja guarding his forehead. It's Konoha, so he came out to gamble at such a young age, and he didn't get a good education at first sight. Who is your teacher? It's Mr. Oshimaru. Facing Tsunade, Kyosuke didn't dare to mess around, so he could only pull tiger skins to make a coat again. Anyway, Oshimaru was not here again. Oshimaru. That guy actually accepted a disciple. Tsunade was surprised that Oshimaru's cold character would accept disciples, which really opened her eyes. You said you are a disciple of Oshimaru, what evidence do you have? Shulking snake hand. Several snakes appeared, entangled the silence around Tsunade, and the little girl screamed in horror, ah. Tsunade-sama, help, Asakawa-san, let me go. Mute and Kyosuke are classmates, but they were taken away by Tsunade shortly after graduation. Mainly because her uncle is Kato. The fingers are not very flexible. The winner of life is the early death. As the only descendant of the Kato family and the only living relative of Kato Dan, Tsunade brings silence to her side. Sure enough, it's Oshimaru's technique, it's still so disgusting. Let's put it away. Tsunade believed in Kyosuke's identity. After all, this technique is only known by Oshimaru in the entire ninja world. Oh, now there is one more. Is it really okay to pass this technique to this little juntai? But, you kid went gambling at such a young age, do you know what the 3 ninja prohibitions are? You should also be a ninja, aren't you gamble on money? Boom. There is another red envelope on the top of the head, and a pagoda is stacked up. Boy, it seems that Dashawan didn't teach you to respect your elders. You are not old either. Of course, I'm just in my youth. Dashiwan, get him, I have urgent business to find him. Well, no money, ask him to borrow some money. Then what? Mr. Oshimaru is still in Konoha, he is not my instructor, I just went out for a stroll, there are tasks, goodbye, Tsunade-sama. Oh, do you know me? Advertisement. That's not it, the luck of losing every gambling, and this terrible weapon, it's hard not to know it. Slipped away. Yes, I have heard of your name, and I saw your portrait at Konoha Hospital. Holding his face tightly with one hand, he lifted him up, boy. I dare to make my money even if I know it. It looks like you don't want to be confused. Help, help, my face is going to be broken. It is broken. It rang, is my facial bone rang. Silent help. Even if you beg me. Silent glanced at Tsunade weakly and said, I can't save you, Asakawa-san, please do it yourself. No, mute. Don't look at me, we are classmates. Have you betrayed? My body is almost pineapple. Oh, Omo. I was wrong. Tsunade-sama, I shouldn't have gone there. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi, dare you next time. Don't dare. Seriously apologize and do it next time. No way, Big Sheep is so fragrant. It is really possible to get rich overnight. Finally, Tsunade let go of Kyosuke. With the death of her younger brother and lover, she suffered from phobia, and she didn't want to return to Konoha, so she was happy. Touching his face, I felt my bones were about to break. Okay, I'm making a lot of money. How can I spend this money? He had prepared a series of spending plans in his heart, and some of the 18 prohibited items were thrown away by him. After all, he was still a child. I bought some snacks unique to Unokuni, strolled around the street for a while, and chose to return to the hotel. Putting things in his room, it was still early, and he was about to go out to practice, and it happened to hit the water gate. Kyosuke-kun, you just came back, did they bring the soil back with you? Watergate asked. Advertisement. No, Teitu and Asma are shopping with Hong and Lin. I and Kakashi are acting separately. Shinji asked, what happened? I just received the news that there have been missing children in several nearby towns. I have a bad premonition and I am a little worried. Ms. Watergate, we are all ninjas, shouldn't we be abducted? Shinsuke didn't think anyone could abduct Hong and the others. That's true, but after playing for so long, you should be back, right? Teacher Watergate, girls are very slow to go shopping. They are looking and picking. If you don't buy them, you will be exhausted to go shopping with them. Watergate nodded in sympathy. It was like that every time he went shopping with Ju Shinai, that feeling might as well let him go to the battlefield. Then wait, dinner should be back too. In the evening, Mr. Kazama is going to invite people to dinner, we have to follow. Oh, at this moment, a Sanpei wearing a Konoha forehead ran in, sticking his tongue out and said, it's not good, your 4 companions were taken away, and Kakashi has gone after him. Actually got caught, are you guys really ninjas? Pre-inspection. Watergate squeezed his eyebrows and said, Parker, take me over. I am going too. But you, Mazuman hesitated, and Kyosuke said with a smile, they are also my companions, aren't they? It's really convinced that they can lose themselves when they go shopping. Okay, but be careful. I understand. Kakashi's ninja dog Parker nodded, jumped on the shoulders of the Watergate, and pointed the direction to the 2 of them. On the way, Watergate asked Parker, do you know who caught them with the dirt? I grabbed the 4 ninjas at once. This strength is at least higher than that of the ninja, or there are several ninjas. After all, among the 4 of them, only Lin is a civilian ninja, and the other 3 are ninjas of family history. In general, Zhang Ren can't knock them down in a short time. I don't know, Kakashi fought with one of them and found that the opponent had just used physical skills to force him back, and then he asked me to come to you. Parker said. Watergate's heart sank, and he could force Kakashi back by relying on physical skills. Could it be Tang Yinkyun's Shinobu? With Kakashi's strength, it is difficult for the average Zonran to push him back. Could it be the Shangren in Tangyan village who can push him back? But why should they grab them? Or did you discover the identity of the son of Asma's 3 generations of Naruto? Want to use this to blackmail Konoha? Guessing like this, the two quickly approached Kakashi's location. Chapter 17. Cherish life and stay away from cults. Relying on Parker's keen sense of smell, Mizuman and Kyosuke quickly found Kakashi. Mr. Watergate. Seeing the arrival of the two, Kakashi nodded, cat's waist, hiding in a tree, observing the people below through the gap between the leaves. The 4 people, such as Dai 2, were tied to a wooden stake, unconscious, not only them, but also a group of children, a group of people covered in black robes surrounding the 4 of them, and they were muttering words. Under their feet, there is a huge circle drawn with blood, and a triangle is nested in the center of the circle. Mizuman watched the movement below, frowned, and said, "Is this the recent rise of the country of Yuno, the so-called Cthulhu? The Cthulhu cult is a cult. The doctrine is unknown. Anyway, it is not a good thing. It has recently spread in small areas in the country of Tangji. I heard that the child's disappearance was because of them." Cthulhu. Kyosuke recalled. After that, Asma died in the hands of the flying band who believed in this religion. That guy's abilities were extremely weird. He had an immortal body. If he got the opponent's blood, he could be in the circle. Let the other person feel the same with yourself, your heart will be broken, and the other person's heart will also be broken, but you have an immortal body and will not die. This wave is the limit 1-for-1 change. How did the 4 of them get caught? I don't know. When I was shopping, I saw Asma being dragged into the alley. The leader of the opponent was very good at physical skills. I couldn't beat him and basically didn't have the opportunity to use physical skills. Kakashi recalled. Leave that leader to me. Kakashi, you and Kyosuke will go to rescue them. Mizuman touched out his special kunai and said. Suddenly, they heard the Cthulhu leader below frantically shouting. Everyone, we can gather here today. It is all the will of the Cthulhu Lord. These fresh lives, the most innocent children, will become the best of the Cthulhu Lord. Sacrifice. He opened his hands and said, from now on, let us enjoy. Enjoy the feast of sacrifice to Lord Cthulhu. Before that, we must implement the doctrine. Let the Lord Cthulhu see our loyalty. After all, I don't know where he took out a short black spear and pierced it into the heart of a person next to him. The pierced person didn't see any pain, even if the heart was broken and the blood kept flowing, he was still smiling and frantically. Smiling and shouting. Everything is for the evil god. Advertisement. It was like a signal. The Cthulhu cultists rushed towards their surrounding companions, smashing them with their fists, biting them with their teeth, or using the samurai, one after another, trying to end the other's life. The Cthulhu leader also fell into it, using his exquisite physical skills to end the lives of one after another. The 3 of them were stunned, and there are still people fighting each other. Kiyomizu rubbed his chin and said, it looks like they will be able to decide the outcome after a while. I guess it will be the last person to execute Asma and the others. Wait a minute, Teacher Watergate. Watergate nodded. The suicide of this group of cultists should be related to their doctrine. It is estimated that it is a doctrine like, kill your own companion, or, kill the people around you. This group of fanatical believers deeply believes in the doctrine. Even if it is a companion, they will kill, in order to please the evil god. It is not clear whether there is a Cthulhu Watergate, but this Cthulhu cult is crazy. Shinji thought for a while. He remembered that only Feijuan in Cthulhu had the immortal body, that is to say, this group of people wanted to use the method of sacrifice to let them gain power from the Cthulhu. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. However, cults harm people. Caring for life and stay away from cults. The scene below is extremely bloody, even Kakashi and Kyosuke watched it with the company of Watergate. However, the cult leader below does have some abilities. He has very good physical skills and has killed a lot of people without a drop of blood on his body. No wonder he can force Kakashi back. It seems that I have received the favor of Lord Cthulhu again. I just want to get the immortal body. I need more sacrifices. Okay, let the Lord Cthulhu see his favorite. It's a drama. Sticking out his tongue, licking the blood on the tip of the spear, showing a cruel smile, Master Cthulhu will love this. Upon seeing this, Watergate immediately threw out the kunai in his hand. The Cthulhu leader hit Kuwu with a short spear, and Kuwu flew into the air. Watergate's figure appeared instantly, caught Kuwu, and shot again. The Cthulhu leader quickly dodged, but he didn't expect Watergate to appear next to him, and Kuwu flew towards his throat. Go with. His reaction was also extremely fast. The short spear blocked kunai. He saw the face of Watergate and the forehead guard on his head. He smiled and said, so, Konoha's teacher came to look for these little guys. It's still slow. Up. Advertisement. He regretted that he did not have the slightest fear in the face of the Watergate. He separated from the Watergate, stabbed forward and blocked the Watergate. The short spears kept attacking. By virtue of physical skills, the two were inextricably beaten. Kakashi and Kyosuke appeared, cut the rope that helped the 4 with kunai, immediately moved them to a safe place, and returned to take the remaining children away. Damn it. That's the sacrifice of Lord Cthulhu. The Cthulhu leader was furious. At this time, a chakra ball appeared in the palm of Watergate's palm, and it hit the Cthulhu leader's abdomen all at once. Spiral pill. In Naruto world, there is nothing that one ball can't solve. If there is, then two. If it doesn't work, then rub a big one. As the founder of Maruko, Watergate used this trick to easily get rid of the Cthulhu leader. Physique is really powerful. From the perspective of physique, it can already be comparable to Konoha's Shangnan. Watergate commented. The corners of Qingji's mouth twitched, and you are trying to try this guy's fineness, but I want to come. At the speed of Watergate, it's not difficult to deal with this guy, I just want to try his power. That's it. How are they? Watergate asked. I didn't find any injuries. It is estimated that I was stunned by these guys while shopping. Shinsuke said. A flame appeared in the palm of his hand, and the bodies of these people were set ablaze under the surprised gaze of Watergate. This is the blood succession boundary that the family hasn't opened for a long time. In my generation, it opened inadvertently. He explained it casually, and burned these people to ashes with continuous flames. The burnt smell of the air was uncomfortable, and the Watergate buried the group of guys on the spot with earth to escape, separated shadow clones, and helped take away the children who were abducted by the Cthulhu. Kakashi and Kyosuke carried them back together with Asuma and Taito. Chapter 18 Attack. The four who awoke were annoyed because they had all lost everything they bought. Only Kyosuke made a fortune in a muffled voice, but he did not report to Yuri Junhong that Tsunade was here. One is because it is useless to report it. Although Mizuman is a disciple of Jiraiya, he can't persuade Tsunade to return to the village. Maybe he will be beaten. The other is to tell where Tsunade is. In case Mizuman and Yuhi are really red, they will be exposed if they go to the casino by themselves, so he doesn't want it. As the events of the Cthulhu cult passed, no major incidents happened, and they passed steadily. A week later, they embarked on a journey back to the country of fire. After Mr. Kazama sold the goods to the buyer and signed a trade contract, he bought some of Yunokuni's souvenirs back. There are not many of these local products, so the speed of going back is much faster. The breeze is not dry and the sun is just right. The afternoon sun makes people drowsy. After lunch, Qingji is sitting in the carriage. Now there is not much stuff. 8 people are separated by a short distance, so there is no need to worry too much. Xiaobai Snake got out of the cuff, and Qingji asked, "What's the matter?" "Xiaobai, there are enemies." The little white man nodded sexually. Upon seeing this, he turned his head and said to Yuri Junhong, "Teacher Junhong." Yuri Junhong said, "I followed us all the way yesterday. I went to see it last night, and there were a few ninjas from Wuyin village. Fog Hidden Village. They are not in the water country, what are they doing after us? We don't know this for the time being, but we have to be careful, there may be a fight later." Yuri Junhong said solemnly. Shinsuke is his subordinate, he knows the special blood inheritance boundary, don't worry about his safety, if Asuma and Hong join forces, there is no need to worry too much. In other words, it was a robbery last time, and what was it because of this time? Is this really a C-level mission? Is the probability of encountering wild monsters too high? How long has he been out of the village? However, the people in Wuyin village must be careful. After all, it is one of the 5 great shinobu villages. Even if they like to play infighting but can't do Konoha, they are also the 5 great shinobu villages. With that said, a faint white fog began to appear in the forest. It didn't take long for the fog to thicken and visibility was very low. The technique of mist hiding. Stay in formation. Protect Mr. Kazama. The 2 teams guarded Mr. Kazama and the carriages of several entourages, while Yuhi Mahong and Mizuman each held their weapons. Advertisement. Coming. Yuri Junhong gave a low cry, and smashed a ninja wearing a misty village guard's forehead. The next second, the ninja who was slashed in half suddenly turned into a pool of water. Water body. 1. A figure appeared silently behind Shinsuke, his hand pierced straight into his body, but there was no sensation of blood splashing on his body as imagined, but a feeling of hotness and burning. The pain suddenly made him withdraw his hand, and several snakes rushed out of Kyosuke's collar and bit him in one bite. Kyosuke, who was burning with flames in his heart, smiled coldly, "Hello. Nishiuchi." He grabbed the man's face and sprayed flames. The flame rushed out of the thick fog, burned the man's face to an imperfect, and killed him. Shinsuke. No. Wow. Asuma saw the big flame hole in Shinsuke's heart, and was shocked not knowing what to say. Thinking of it, he once mentioned the blood inheritance limit, and asked curiously, "This is what you mean by the limit of blood succession?" Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Yes, don't yell, don't worry about me, take care of yourself. The flame made up the hole, and Chakra lost half of it, which was fine. Oh, Asuma nodded blankly, this ability, a bit cool. This kid, is it Konoha's new blood succession boundary? There is a need to snatch. The misty ninja who was observing secretly saw the scene just now, and felt malicious in his heart. Xiaobai, find someone. Little White Snake stuck his head out to determine several directions, and Shinsuke immediately separated the shadow clone. The shadow clone rushed into the thick fog, and he shouted, "I'll get down." Grab the red and Asuma got down on the spot. Next moment, boom boom boom, the shadow clone was detonated by him, and a series of explosions appeared, setting off strong winds and heat waves, and at the same time dispelling the dense fog. The hidden mist ninja was exposed, and there were several broken bodies on the ground. Advertisement. This kind of destructive power is at least grade B. Yuri Junhong commented. At this time, a golden figure rushed out, only to hear a scream, and the water gate flashed to his side, sending a fog. The hidden ninja threw it on the ground and said, "It's all done. Your speed is really fast enough. It is worthy of the ninjutsu created by the 2nd generation of adults." Yuri Junhong said sincerely, Fei Lei Shen's speed is too fast for people to react at all, and he will die if he encounters it. It's nothing, Mr. Junhong, it's time for you to perform. Pradanam said humbly. Yuhi Junhong is an illusion ninja, and he is better at torture illusion, so it just happened to be handed to him. Nodded, immediately Jian invaded the brain of the Misty Ninja with illusion, and tortured information. But as soon as he used the illusion technique, the Misty Ninja suddenly lost his breath, and Yuri Junhong frowned and said, the mist set a seal in this guy's head. It was just triggered by me. The brain burned down. You left. Are there any other livelihoods? Wuyin village is very conservative, and it is not surprising to have this method. In terms of confidentiality, this group of people is also first class in the ninja world. One more. Seal it, and then take this group back. It is good. Watergate sealed the last live mouth as quickly as possible, while Yuri Junhong asked Kyosuke and the others to clean up the battlefield. Those corpses were loaded into the seal scrolls, and these corpses allowed Konoha's intelligence department to analyze all the information that could be obtained. After giving it all to Mizuno, Mizuno said, I'll go back to Konoha first, and Kakashi and the others will ask you. Nothing. This is my task. Yuri Junhong nodded. The three of Mizuno and Kakashi confessed, and then they teleported away with the Misty Ninja. It would be a waste of chakra to drive back to Konoha with Flying Thunder God. After all, the distance is a little far away. It is estimated that returning to Konoha, explaining a series of tasks and rest, will not be able to come back until tomorrow. On the side of Yuri Junhong, he also decided to speed up. No one knew what would happen on the road, so he had to hurry up. Mr. Kazama also knows the danger, but he is very afraid of death, otherwise he would not hire two teams, and the speed of everyone's return has more than doubled. In the afternoon of the next day, Mizuman rushed back, did not say much, just asked them to speed up, and the number of Konoha ninjas patrolling the border of the country of fire increased. Chapter 19. Learning of Spiritualism. It looks like your mission is really ups and downs, Kyosuke-san. In the laboratory, Oshimaru laughed when he heard Shinsuke talk about the mission. Generally speaking, sea-level missions have not encountered so many things. Who knows, speaking of Master Dashimaru, why the Misty people came to attack us? Kyosuke asked curiously. Dashimaru did not evade him either, saying, the people in the mist want information about the village, and you happen to be there, and they are preparing for the war. But, isn't the war just over? The Second Ninja World War ended in Konoha 38 to 39 years. It is reasonable to say that they should be recuperating and rejuvenating each other, and the fog is so fast to prepare for the war. Hearing this, Oshimaru smiled and said, so in preparation for the war, Konoha was the victor in the Second Ninja World War. In addition, he was closer to the country of fire and the country of water, so I want to gather information. Shinsuke-san, the war on the surface is indeed over, but the fighting between the villages has been transferred to the dark. For a long time, there have been countless open and secret fights in the 5 ninja villages. Konoha was the victor in the first 2 ninja world wars. Of course, it caused dissatisfaction among many people and also showed strength. After Konoha Whitefang committed suicide and Princess Slug left the village, Konoha has shown signs of decline, and now is the weakest moment. Especially when it is said that there is only one big snake pill left in the village. Look, Kyosuke-kun, within 5 years, the Third Ninja World War is about to begin. During this period, save your strength. Oshimaru put down the test tube in his hand and said, I have a technique to enhance it. Do you want to try your combat power?
Is it a curse seal? No, he still doesn't want to be imprinted by Uncle Snake. Without changing his face, he asked, what is it, Lord Oshimaru? Psychicism. Hearing this, Kyosuke was overjoyed and said, I'm studying. Ordinary psychic beasts such as Kakashi's ninja dog and Kai's ninja turtle can only play a role of detection and support in battle, while powerful psychic beasts can kill all quarters on the battlefield, such as Jiraiya's toad, the snake of Oshimaru. The ninja beasts they channeled out are extremely powerful and can cause terrible damage on the battlefield. In particular, the snakes of Oshimaru came from Longni Cave, one of the 3 psychic holy sites, and the fighting power of the Oshimaru was even more terrifying. Follow me. Following behind Dashuan, they came out of the courtyard. Dashuan bit his finger, formed a seal on his hand, and patted the ground. The black tadpole text spread out from his hand like a spider web. Advertisement, psychic art. Bang. A huge smoke suddenly occupied the courtyard, and a giant snake appeared in the courtyard. The whole body was khaki-colored, the body of the water tank was thick and thin, and the body was coiled up, staring indifferently at the 2 people in front of him. Dashi Wan grabbed Shinsuke's arm and exclaimed, don't be afraid. In the next second, the giant snake opened its mouth wide and swallowed them in one bite, without even giving people a chance to react. Bang. The giant snake disappeared in the courtyard. Longdadong. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. This is a psychic sacred place that is as famous as Miaomu Mountain and Wet-Bone Forest. The intricate caves and warm environment here are very suitable for the survival of snakes. A large number of snakes thrive here, and the rich natural energy here makes them powerful. The snakes possess wisdom and great power. Among them, the white snake immortal is a terrifying existence that can be on the same level as the slug immortal of the big toad immortal Wet-Bone Forest in Miaomu Mountain. There are 2 ways to reach Longdi Cave. One is to sign a psychic contract so that you can reach here through reverse psychic art, and the other is to find it here. Dashuan found this place, completed the test, and signed a contract with Longdadong. The big snake appeared in the misty woods and vomited both of them in one bite. Then twisted his body into the darkness. It's dirty. The whole body was sticky mucus. I didn't know that Dashuan could stand this way. The flame burned on his body and evaporated the mucus, but there was still a strange smell. You have to learn to get used to it. Looking at the misty surroundings, he asked, Master Oshimaru, where is this place? Advertisement. If you want to get the psychic beast, you must sign a contract with the psychic beast, and this is where you get the psychic beast, Longdi Cave, where there are many snakes that are bigger and fierce than the snake just now. If you want to summon, they must have a contract, otherwise they can sign a contract after completing the test. Shinji knew clearly, and asked, then how'd I pass the test? It's up to you. Dashimaru Shiame smiled, I'm here waiting for you. If you continue walking, you can enter the Longdi Cave, but it's up to you to pass the test. Then what if it fails? It was eaten by the snake inside. Dashiwan said this without a trace of emotion. After hearing this, Kyosuke swallowed, isn't it, life is in danger? I am here for a life of 9 deaths, but the greater the risk, the greater the reward. It depends on whether you are willing. If you don't want to, I can take you back. You can think of a solution for the psychic beast. Wait, I'm going. Kiyomizu said heartily, I'll go, after I come back. Oshimaru, you have to teach me the method of psychic formation, and don't run away. I'll wait for you for a day. Dashiwan sat down on the spot. Okay, I'm going. The psychic beast is a must, and the immortal law must be mastered. The danger in the Longdi Cave is far from safe from Miaomu Mountain. I wanted to go there to see if I could be a disciple Dangdang. As a result, this guy has never seen it in the village. It is a little dangerous to follow Dashimaru, but is it possible to get spiritism? If he does not go, he may be excluded, and it is not impossible to become an experiment. Therefore, I can only bite the bullet. Looking at the little back figure stepping into the mist, a beautiful woman in a witch costume appeared beside Oshimaru. This is your disciple? Oshimaru. Not yet. If he came out alive, that would be the case. If he didn't come out alive, he could only say that he didn't have that life. Dashimaru said softly. This is his test of Shinjia. If the test of Longadong is not passed, it will be fatal. Without that fate, Shinjia will not be able to survive, and will only become food for the snake. If he comes back alive, then he will accept him as a disciple. Don't underestimate the test of Longadong. I'm already looking forward to eating this kid's chakra. The witch's beautiful face suddenly paled, her mouth split, and her mouth appeared with fangs and snake letters, black. The eyeshadow spread to the nose. Then wait and see. Chapter 20. The more beautiful the girl is, the more deceitful it is. I'm a boy. Is this broken place really Longadong? You can't even see the opening of the hole. Can Bo Ren really get there? Kyosuke murmured. Huang Mao too didn't watch a few episodes when he was traveling, only heard about it. Why didn't you watch it? Because it's too burning. He was afraid of seeing the brain congestion that caused his excitement. Stopped. A string of footprints appeared in front of him, and when he looked closely, it was his own, which means he was spinning in place. Gee. Feeling uncomfortable, a flame was lit in his hand, or else a torch would burn this misty forest. No, forget it. He stopped this thought. He was afraid that as soon as the fire was lit, a big snake would come out and swallow himself. That is, a bright light appeared faintly in the mist, and it was clear that there was fraud. He doesn't believe that snakes can use fire. This cold-blooded animal doesn't need these at all. Even if the white snake fairy wants to decorate with lights and bring out his own style, he won't use a row. But he still walked over. Without him, he didn't know where to go. The fog gradually disappeared, and in front of him was a magnificent gate tower, with flying eaves and arches, carved beams and painted buildings, and the atmosphere was vigorous. On the vermilion heavy plaque, the 3 golden characters, Longadong, were eye-catching and unusual. The thick pillars are decorated with the imprint of blue snake scales, and the golden snake body surrounds them, full of the style of the dragon cave. The heavy door was closed, and Shinzuki wanted to pat the door and shout, FBI, open the door. After thinking about it, I still held back. Just when he was thinking about how to call the door slowly opened, and a green-haired woman with a golden bead crown on her head appeared and smiled and said, Welcome, the distinguished guest from afar. We have been waiting for you for a long time. Welcome to Longdi Cave. Advertisement. Hello, I'm Shinjia. I want to sign a contract with Longadong. Shinjia said politely. Longadong is full of snakes. It is impossible for anyone to exist. Suddenly a young lady appeared. Don't think about it. This is a beautiful snake, but she will definitely not be like Bai Sujun. She must be greedy. In other words, Shinjia looked at the beauty in front of her, showing Xiao Bai on her wrist, pointed at the beauty and said to Xiao Bai, quick, change. Noob. Listen, is this talking human? This human being is kind of weird. I am Tien Shin Shenji. Welcome the arrival of distinguished guests. If you sign a contract, you can come in first. Tien Shin Shenji is as gentle as Yamato Nadeshiko. Please enter into the building. I go. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Shinzuki walked in at the invitation of Tien Shin Shenji. It was decorated with luxurious gold. At first, you could see the reliefs and plans related to snakes. The lanterns were written with the square dragon, which brightened the whole hall like daylight. A scent penetrated into the nose, and in a blink of an eye, a large number of delicacies were placed on one side of the table, including chicken, duck, and fish meat, all in color, flavor, and steaming, making it easy for people to appetite. These delicacies are specially used to entertain distinguished guests. Come and eat some. Tien Shin Shenji brought a plate of roast chicken and placed it in front of Shinzuki, expecting him to eat it. Then what? After I have eaten enough? This must not be eaten, right? The insect delicacy in Miaomu Mountain is the big hole, and the Longdi Cave should not be bad. He doesn't believe that this beautiful snake can cook such a good skill, maybe it's illusion or poisoning in it. Tien Shin Shenji's expression remained unchanged, and she continued to smile. Ah, don't Shinzuki, don't say that. It's okay to eat a little bit, this is my heart. There is definitely a problem, in fact, I'm on a diet recently to lose weight. I'm looking for a slim figure, just like you, sister Tien Shin Shenji. Skinny doesn't look good. Tien Shin Shenji covered her mouth and chuckled, I like fat. Your figure is very well proportioned, but it's a little smaller, but it's very tender. Advertisement oops, this look, she greets me. It was confirmed at a glance, and Kyosuke smiled and said, no, it's better to be thinner. Konoha's girls like to be thinner. Sister, I like a little fatter, come and eat. Tien Shin Shenji brought a plate of roasted suckling pig. The roasted suckling pig was shiny and fragrant, which greatly increased the appetite. Kiyomizu declined and said, no, my mother told me not to eat strangers, and... He smiled and said to Tien Shin Shenji, this is fake, isn't it? Tisk. Tien Shin Shenji smacked her mouth uncomfortably, her face suddenly paled, red eyeshadow appeared, extending to her nose, her eyes also turned into golden vertical pupils, her little cherry mouth suddenly split, revealing her fangs, and she spit out blue snake letters. His expression also became fierce, really a disobedient human being, can't you just eat it obediently? As soon as the voice fell, the originally bright hall suddenly darkened, and slowly disappeared. Also disappeared was the food in front of him. The dense fog appeared again. Kyosuke found that he was sitting on a cold, hard rock. That kind of very soft touch. Everything is nothing but the illusion of Tien Shin Shenji. The surrounding ground is full of bones. These are the unlucky ones who were bewitched by Tien Shin Shenji and ate the food, but she ate them instead. If Kyosuke just ate them, that would be the end. I thought I could eat your little devil's fresh chakra, it was really disappointing. After being rejected 3 times by him, Tien Shin Shenji knew that she had been seen through by this little devil. Since she was seen through, there is no point in hiding it. Devil, I saw at a glance that you are not human, Kyosuke coughed and said with a smile. After all, I have never heard that snakes can make human delicacies, and they cook decently, and just like Tien Shin Shenji, sister, you just said something right, the more beautiful a woman is, the more cheating. HMPH. These are my creations based on the memories of those human beings that I have devoured. HMPH. One bite of one sister, the name is sweet, and the thing is not eaten. Only crazy people who seek power will come here, so don't think it's smooth sailing ahead of me. Tien Shin Shenji flew up angrily, her figure disappeared into the thick fog, and her breath also disappeared together. So close. I patted my chest. Fortunately, I was clever enough. If I just took a bite, maybe these bones would be my fate. But where should I go next? If you don't know, then come with me. At this moment, with his hands on his shoulders and the head of the ball, the girl in white floats behind him. He smiled and said, I am Shikishimaheim. As long as Tien Shin Shinki's test is not greedy, it is easy to pass, and my test here is also very easy. Do you want to try it? Chapter 21. Small chic and real-looking things. Ichikishimaheim is a flat figure, and her temperament is very different from Tien Shin Shenji. Tien Shin Shenji does not show that appearance, she is a gentlewoman like Yamato Nadeshiko, while Ichiki Island Heim is very lively. Kyosuke turned around, and his eyes swept across her very quickly, showing a dull expression. Hey, kid. I always feel that you are thinking about something very rude. Shikishima-ji could not help but feel the malice in his eyes. How come, like you are also a treasure to some people? Kyosuke gave a thumbs up. Ichikishimaheim felt worse, but she coughed and laughed. Come with me. She floated in front, and Kyosuke followed closely behind. The two of them came to an underground cave with a gleam of light. As soon as they entered the cave, a stone door suddenly closed, blocking the way. Shikishima-ji chuckled and said, my test is very simple, just get out from here. It's really simple, as long as you can get out, but how do you get out? The door was locked, and there was no key. He patted the heavy stone gate, and then hit it with a punch. Shimon did not move. The fist burned with flames, and it slammed down again, still the same. No, the 2 chakras just now shouldn't have been consumed so much. Feeling the loss of the chakras in his body, Shinji found out where it wasn't used. Oh, did you find it? Shikijima's face also turned into a snake, and she smiled. I'm very honest. Let me tell you this. I can forcibly consume your chakra for a long time. You will fall, and then I can enjoy your body and chakra. What a terrible line. I knocked on the stone door and got a dull echo, no need to think about it, it was very heavy. Hey, this is. Feeling the breeze coming from under the door, that is to say, there is a gap here, she turned around and said to Shikishimaheim. You mean that escaping this cave is considered as passing the test, right? Of course, after the stone gate is outside, you can smash it hard, as long as you do it before your chakra runs out. Shikijima-ji nodded and said. Advertisement. The stone gate is so strong that it is impossible for this little devil to open it. Few ninjas can open the stone gate while accelerating the consumption of chakra. In the end, these people became her dish. Okay, don't shame. He stretched out his hand and put his hand on the seam of the door. Ichikijima was puzzled when he saw this and asked, do you want to pull the door open with brute force? It's true, but your body is still too small to be possible. I never thought about it. I'm not a foolish man. His body turned into flames, and then he got into the crack of the door. The flame has no specific shape. It can be any shape. Shinji found another way, turning his body into a flame, and then he could directly pass through the crack in the door. Ichikashima Haim watched the human-shaped flame in front of her become weak, and finally all disappeared in the cave. Wiping his eyes, I felt like I was dreaming. It's a lie? Ichikashima Haim felt depressed. With a wave of her hand, Kyosuke, who had just appeared outside the door, found that the surrounding environment was filled with mist again, but the surroundings had become caves. Ichikashima Haim flew over and asked, "What is the condition of your little devil's body?" The situation is the same as the hydration secret technique of the Ghost Lantern clan, but this is flame transformation. Shinzuki will not omit a word even when he is killed. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Next time I will make a non-ventilated one. Holding Kyosuke's face, Ichikajima's cheeks bulged. "Uncute kid, I could have eaten yours. Don't use such a cute expression to say such terrible things. I miscalculated this time. You passed my test, although it was cheating." Shikishima counted him over, and his body gradually faded. Seeing someone about to leave, Shinzuki quickly asked, "Wait, where should I go now?" "You don't need to go." Ichikashima smiled. In the mist behind Shinzuki, the beauty in witch costume floated over silently, exposing the snake's face, and biting on Shinsuke's shoulder. However, a handful of flames rushed up, making her hurried back. "What's the matter with your body?" the beauty asked Shinjia, looking at the flames on her shoulders. Shikijima-ji, who was about to disappear, condensed her body at once, and said with a smile, "Ahaha, Tantsuheim, you also have times when you were flat. This kid is very special, and his body can turn into a flame." Advertisement Tanjin-ji had just been scalded, but the hotspot healed quickly, and said, "Cut, why didn't you say it earlier?" "I haven't gone back, you bit on it impatiently, I didn't get the grade." Shikishima-ji spread out her hands and said helplessly. She wanted to say it, but it's a pity that Tanjin-ji moved too fast, too late. Tanjin-ji turned into a beauty again, and smiled and said, "This level is a test of your heart." When she spoke, her face returned to a snake face. "I can't test it, you have to be eaten by me. Come on, be obediently by me. Take a bite, really small and chic." "I reject." Shinjia changed the face of the old man in the northwest. "I don't want to be bitten by you. What if you are poisoned and can't resist?" "I'm Tanjin-ji under the white snake celestial constellation, how could I poison you?" He stepped back, folded his hands on his chest. "You must be plotting against me, I want to consider my personal safety." It's really interesting, Tanjin-ji, what would you do?" Shikishima-ji hasn't eaten Shinzuki anymore, and she is happy to see Tanjin-ji unable to do it. "Is this the plastic sister flower? Love, don't underestimate me." Tanjin-ji flew in. Kyosuke wanted to retreat, but the stone under her feet suddenly formed a prison, imprisoning his lower body, unable to move. Just thinking about the elemental body, Tanjin-ji has arrived, grabbing his hands and biting on his neck. The flames still flew, but the flames that flew out turned lavender. Tanjin-ji said, "After all, these flames are also made of chakras. You only need to convert toxins into chakras to take effect on you. Your current flames are not threatening to us at all." The toxin chakra invaded Shinsuke's body, and he felt that his whole body was emptied of strength. Tanjin-ji suddenly turned into a big snake pill, and the other party licked her tongue and smiled and said, "Weird body structure, and this kind of blood inheritance boundary, you are very worthy of anatomy." I go, is illusion so real? He was afraid that Uncle Snake might send him to the operating table at any time. Chapter 22, White Snake Fairy. Dashi Wan is a man who believes in technology. His own existence is too special. If one day Dashi Wan does not hold back and takes possession of his body, it will be over. Hanging around by his side, Kyosuke has always kept an eye on it. If the momentum is wrong, he will run away immediately. "The Dashuan in front of me is undoubtedly a fake and inferior product." He coughed and said, "Sister Tanjin-ji, if you pretend to be Dashuan, it's best to be colder and more abnormal. You are not abnormal enough, and this is really true. Torture the soul?" Tanjin-ji. MMP. I was suspicious of my professionalism by kid? Opened his mouth, spit out a sharp sword, held it in his hand, and said, "Asakawa Kyosuke, let me take a look at your body composition. It's fake at first glance. Master Oshimaru uses a scalpel to dissect things, so how could he use a big sword?" Kyosuke curled his lips. "In fact, as long as you know that something like magic is fake, it's hard to be confused. The body can't wake up. Tanjin-ji is setting a test. In this case, there is no need to fear the crisis to life. This kid." Blue veins appeared on Tanjin-ji's forehead, and the transformed Oshimaru raised the sword, slashed suddenly, stopped in front of Kiyomizu, and asked, "You don't hide?" "There is nothing to hide, it's all fake." Seeing his steady smile, Tanjin-ji smiled slightly, and the tip of the sword penetrated his face. "The Chingjia people were all stupid, you're serious?" "Of course, I am very courageous. It is better to use illusion techniques without knowing it. You little devil knew it early, and you didn't pass it at all. Illusion can be used to the best effect when the opponent does not know it. Not everyone will use the offensive illusion of the monthly reading level. When you realize that this is an illusion, the threat of illusion will be reduced, and the remaining question is how to remove it. Advertisement. It is difficult to change a person's inherent thinking. This is the subconscious mind. That's why Uchiha Shisui's other gods will be regarded as the strongest illusions, which directly act on a person's subconsciousness, and the gods can twist them unconsciously. People's subconscious mind can turn a good person into a bad person. To be more powerful, Dadang Muhuye can also be locked in the basement and teach her to write orthography. In Kyosuke, everything he sees is considered illusion, then the threat will be greatly reduced. The three beautiful snake immortals possess very powerful illusions. If you want to, you can let anyone die in it, but the White Snake Immortal sets an order. Only humans who have not passed their test can be eaten by them. This also means, they can't take the initiative to kill the incoming person. The threat is suddenly reduced to a minimum. As long as they remain vigilant, then the test is extremely simple. As Tanjin-ji announced that Shinzuki had passed the test, the surrounding scene changed again, and a temple appeared in front of her eyes. This is the real Longdi Cave, where the White Snake Immortal lives. Tanjin-ji returned to her previous maiden appearance, and regretfully said, "If you just succumbed or begged for mercy, I would eat you, but I didn't expect you to be afraid at all. You kid staying with the madman Oshimaru, it really is. A little madman? No, I'm a normal person." Shinzuki felt that he should justify his name. "The people who come to Longdadong are lunatics who want to gain strength. Come with me. You have passed the test, and Lord White Snake is waiting for you there. You already have this qualification." Tanjin-ji led the way, and Kyosuke followed close behind. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The gate tower built by Shinki Tianqin is exactly the same, except that it is much darker and the patterns on the gate are all the same. Tansky opened the door and said, "Go in, Immortal White Snake is waiting for you inside." "Oh, thank you sister." "Huh, little devil, you are older than your ancestors." Tanjin-ji was very unhappy that she hadn't eaten Shinzuki, and she squeezed his face back and forth. Shinjia worked hard, let her continue to do it. There's a White Snake Immortal, she can't die by herself, let her have a hand addiction. Let this girl be presumptuous for a while. Go in. Okay. Stepping into the gloomy temple, only some lanterns emit a faint light, and a long step stretches into the darkness, and Shinzuki steps up the steps and keeps going up. In the darkness, two huge lanterns light up. No, they are not lanterns, but a pair of huge snake pupils, without a trace of emotion, looking down at him. With the light of the lantern, on the huge stone seat, a huge white phosphorus snake occupies it. The white body is connected to the place where it is enshrined. It is extremely long, with orange-yellow pupils and a green cat's eye on the chest. She wears a purple ribbon to protect his forehead, is studded with a red night pearl, and has two golden rings on his white tail. Advertisement: there was a pipe in his mouth and a faint white smoke. Is it so social? Worthy of being the White Snake Immortal? I remember that the big toad immortal in Miaomu Mountain next door also soaked in the bathtub all day long. I recalled that Toad Wen was too smoking and drinking all day. If he had hair, he would probably burn his head. Well, one of the 3 psychic holy places. The style of painting is a little weird. Hello, Immortal White Snake, this is Kyosuke Asakawa. I want to find a snake to sign a psychic contract. The White Snake Immortal said, I know everything that happens in Longdi Cave, I can detect it. Are you a disciple of Dashuan? Not yet. Although he taught his own spiritism, he didn't have this message either. That's okay, since you have passed the test, then you can practice our Dragon Earth Cave Immortal art. The White Snake Immortal said. Shanshu. Well, can I ask, how can I learn? Shinsuke's eyes lit up. It was Shanshu, alas, it was different from Miyamushin's Shanshu, but its attack power was definitely strong. I will bite you and inject the natural energy of Longdadong into your body. If you are not dead, then you have learned. If you die, I will eat you. The White Snake Fairy said lightly. Shinzuki shed a cold sweat. Is it so simple and rude? Then what, can I delay the time of cultivation? Oh, people who come to me are often lunatics who can't wait to learn and seek power. You little guy actually wants to delay cultivation? Human beings are creatures that obey desires. I have seen too many falling for desire. Humans of the abyss, don't you hunger for power? No, I long for Neko. Of course I won't say this. No, my body hasn't developed well yet. I don't feel it can bear it, and I'm not here to practice immortality, but want a psychic contract. It's easy. The White Snake Immortal said, throwing the contract scroll of Longdadong in front of him. Anyone who is qualified to practice can sign a contract with our Longdadong. Chapter 23. Blocksnake Kyosuke put the contract scroll that was thicker than him on the ground and slowly opened it. After 2 unknown names appeared on it, the third one was Oshimaru. His name is written in blood, and his handprint is below. After signing a blood contract with Longdadong, he can summon the serpent in Longdadong through psychic technique. The White Snake Fairy slowly said, write your name in blood, mix the blood with chakra, press on it, and you can sign a psychic contract with Longdadong. Oh. Shinzuki bit his finger immediately, wrote his name in blood, poured chakra into the blood, painted red fingers, and pressed the handprint on it. Afterwards, a chakra was reported on the scroll, which rolled his left arm. Immediately, Kiyomizu felt a burst of pain. When the pain subsided, black lines appeared on his left arm. At this moment, Shinzuki signed a contract with Longdadong, and the White Snake said, well, boy, this is the blood contract between our Longdadong and you. Also, are you sure you want to delay the time of cultivation? Yes. If you die, it will be invalidated. Your old man wants me to order something good, okay? Huh, okay, let's find a stronger snake to sign the contract. Oh, hasn't the contract been signed? Shinjia asked. The White Snake Fairy replied, it is indeed a contract, but it has the ability to summon the ordinary snake in the Dragon Cavern. If you want to summon the snake with the fairy magic chakra, you still need to tame it yourself. Is this concept different? It's not the same. Go to Tanjin-ji and the others, they will take you there. Let's go down. The tail rolled up the scroll and issued an expulsion order. Then goodbye, Immortal White Snake. Shinzuki left, and Immortal White Snake looked at his back and whispered. Fate is like a mess, it's difficult to sort out, but if you don't survive, it's useless. I want to learn from the Immortal in Longdadong. the technique is not that simple. Outside the door, Shikishima Haim was waiting for Chinzuki and said, "Let's go, let me take you to find a big snake that can use Shanshu chakra. By the way, where is Tanjinji's sister? She said she didn't want to see you, let me take you there." Shirjujima-ji flew up and said, "The immortality of Longnadong is very powerful. Isn't she really not learning it? There is no way for Dashimaru that guy to learn?" Advertisement, Master Dashimaru can't learn, Shinji asked. Ichikajima nodded without concealing it, and said, "Oshimaru's body cannot withstand the strength. Although he is not dead, he was judged by the Lord White Snake Immortal that he could not study. That's really miserable. Yi Dashiwan's talent is not that he can't learn, but that his body cannot withstand the natural energy. Although I don't know what happened to Dashiwan's body, I can only silently mourn for him now. By the way, Sister Shikishima Haim, how should I sign a contract with those big snakes?" "It's very simple. I'll take you to choose the big snake. You can sign a contract with it, but it's up to you whether you can control him or not. Ichikashima Haim and the others can help him sign a contract, and then they need skills to control the psychic beast. Most of the Orochi society in Longnadong will obey the orders of the immortals, but there are also tyrannical characters, and the powerful will not obey obediently. Just like Oshimaru's Wanshe, every time you play, you need to pay a fee. Bringing Shinjia to a cave, the caves of Longnadong are intricate. If there is no local snake to lead the way, it is easy to get lost, stray into the territory of the snake, and if there is no skill, it will be reduced to the dinner of the snake. Although Shinji's physique is not enough to stuff his teeth, read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Without Ichikashima Haim, he would never come here easily. "Let me take a look, let's go here," Shikishima Haim whispered softly when he brought Shinzuki to a deep underground lake. Glancing at the dark lake, Shinzuki asked, "What then?" Ichikashima Haim patted her palms, and then a black snake slowly raised her head from the lake. Wow! The lake water fell along the black and shiny snake scales. A pair of golden and cold vertical eyes looked at the two people in front of them, and said, "Sir Shikishima Haim, don't you know what's going on with me?" The voice was cold, still a female snake. Ichikashima-ji pointed to Kyosuke and said, "This is a human being who can sign a blood contract with our Longnadong. We need a partner, Black Snake, and he will sign a contract with you." "A human being, can you sign a contract with me?" The black snake lowered his head, and Kiyomi found that there were two horns growing on the back of the black snake's head. It was obviously not a simple thing. "Don't underestimate this kid, Black Snake, he is not a simple person. I have a hunch that he can complete the test of the White Snake Immortal, and this is also the order of the White Snake Immortal. You can't violate it." Shichu Island. Although Ji is smiling, his tone cannot be rejected. The black snake's eyes flickered, and he was silent for a while, and said, "I know, if it is the White Snake Immortal and Ichikashima Haim ordering this." Advertisement. Ichikashima Haim said, "Kiyomizu, this is the Black Snake. The strength of the snake in Longnadong is also very high. Even if it is compared to the Wanshe of the Oshimaru, it is not too much. If you have the ability to control her, then, your future achievements will certainly not be low." "I see. I'm Kyosuke Asakawa, please advise, Kurosaki." "Well, I am the Black Snake, remember, if it's not a strong opponent, don't summon me," the Black Snake said coldly. "I know. If you want a psychic beast at the level of Black Snake to appear, your opponent must be a very tricky guy. Normally, those can't speak big snakes in Longdi Cave are enough. After that, you can call me," Black Snake said. With the consent of the Black Snake, Ichikashima Haim asked one person and one snake to sign a contract. Big snakes like Black Snake and 10,000 snakes cannot be summoned if they don't have a contract. Longdi Cave is not like Miaomu Mountain. Whoever calls will come, or whoever has time will come. If it hadn't been for Shichujima-ji and the White Snake Fairy's orders, Black Snake wouldn't sign a contract with him. However, it was very lucky to get the contract from Longnadong. Normal snakes are enough for him. Black snakes belong to the type at the bottom of the pressure box. The black snake slowly sank into the lake, and Shichujima said, "Okay, you can go back. Next time you will be in the fairy mode. I really don't know if you can make it through." "Who knows?" Shrugging her shoulders, Ichikashima Haim called a snake to send him out of the Longdi Cave. Sitting at the door, Dashimaru nodded with satisfaction when he saw Shinzuki and asked, "Have you practiced the fairy mode?" "No, I don't think I am suitable for practicing this right now," Shinzuki said. "Indeed, you are still too weak now, it's not the time to practice this." Dashimaru said, "It's time to go." "Okay, Lord Oshimaru." Dashiwan patted him on the head and said, "It's time to call the teacher in the future." "Okay, Lord Oshimaru, no problem, Lord Oshimaru." Orochimaru. Chapter 24. Oshimaru Ninjutsu features. After returning to Konoha, Kyosuke spent the night at Dashimaru. On the second day, Oshimaru officially taught him to practice. After obtaining the contract with Longnadong, Shinzuki no longer needs to hide the snake in the sleeve as before. He can directly appear through the spirit technique, the psychic snake, and use the shulker snake hand. The snakes in Longnadong are also smarter and easier to attack than ordinary snakes, and the upgraded version of shulker snake hand, shulker more snake hand, you don't need to learn it. Hilarious Shadow Snake Hand is nothing more than the psychic creation of more, larger, more ferocious and intelligent snakes based on the hidden Shadow Snake Hand. After having a contract with Longnadong, Shinzuki can use this trick. Oshimaru just explained the precautions to him. "This time, I will teach you a sneak attack ninjutsu, which is also based on spiritism," Oshimaru said to Kiyomizu. Shinsuke's eyes lit up and asked, "Teacher Oshimaru, what kind of ninjutsu is it?" As soon as he heard Yin Ren's ninjutsu, he came to mind. After all, the powerful ninjutsu is based on its own strength, and the sneak attack ninjutsu is about a surprise attack. Shinzuki felt that there was nothing wrong with making an old yin coin. Dashiwan nodded and said, "This is called the tongue snake-sucking swallows, which is to spit out a snake from the mouth, and use this snake to grab the enemy very close in front of you, and use the poison of a poisonous snake to defeat it." Kyosuke. This trick is the combat characteristic of Dashimaru. I spit snakes, snakes spit me, snakes spit snakes, I spit me, I spit swords, snakes spit swords. Although I am sick, I use them and follow Dashiwan to practice. Kyosuke feels that something is going away from him. What should I do? Dashiwan was very satisfied that Shinzuki could accept it. After all, he himself knew that the taste was very heavy, and most people couldn't accept it. He patiently said, "You first summon a small poisonous snake." Yes. Pull open the left sleeve, bit your finger, make a stroke on it, leaving a mark, and then seal the seal according to Professor Ashimaru's method of seal, psychic art. Bang. A small green snake with a triangular head appeared in front of him. Spit a snake letter towards Shinzuki. The speed of Jin still needs to be practiced. Knowing that Shinzuki is used to using the blood relay limit, when it is time to use ninjutsu, he still needs to go to Jin. On the battlefield, the speed of Jin is faster than the opponent's 0.1 second, or all victories. Advertisement. Oh. Dashiwan picked up the poisonous snake. In his hand, the poisonous snake was not threatening at all, and said, "Open your mouth." You need to spit this snake down first, Dashiwan said. Although I had been mentally prepared, my scalp was still numb, and I bit my scalp and opened his mouth. Dashiwan caught the poisonous snake and stuffed it in. Woohoo! Don't bite it down, otherwise I won't be able to save you if anything happens. With a reminder, Dashiwan continued the movement in his hand. He resisted the feeling of retching, and finally swallowed the whole snake. Oh tilde. I retched on the ground and suddenly felt the poisonous snake in my stomach disappear. Is my stomach so powerful? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The snake has returned to the Dragon D cave. The next time you use it, it will be summoned. It will rush out of your stomach and bite the enemy. Master Oshimaru, you don't have this kind of ninjutsu here, right? I don't want to learn this kind of ninjutsu anymore. Hearing this, Dashiwan Quan, as a child, had a temper and smiled. You will know in the future. No, I don't want to know at all. Okay, I will teach you the seal of the tongue snake-sucking swallows. Remember, the seal of the starting hand is the C seal. The teaching level of Dashimaru is not superficial. It is very easy to understand and explain the truth in simple terms. It is a pity that it is a pervert. Otherwise, it is possible to become a famous teacher. But the impression he left to the world was that of a freak, a madman, and a pervert. Kyosuke's comprehension ability is also top-notch, able to quickly absorb the knowledge of Professor Ashimaru, and draw inferences from one another. The tongue snake sucking and swallowing technique can be set up in advance. The snake can be summoned in advance in battle to avoid a tense situation in the battle. If there is no time to seal the seal in advance, and then kill the opponent unexpectedly. Then give it a try. Shinji nodded, sealed the seal according to Dashimaru's teaching method, and then opened his mouth. The poisonous snake he had swallowed reappeared and rushed out of his mouth. It was fine at close range. Advertisement. Well, Mr. Oshimaru, can you summon different snakes? For example, this poisonous snake, or that kind of toxin will not kill people, but are there any snakes that numb the opponent's body? Swallowing the snake again, Shinji asked. Of course it is possible. Summoning is your own thought and controllable. Therefore, you can summon a snake and swallow it in. You don't need me to teach you, come on your own. Shinji. Forget it. Looking at the time, it was approaching noon, Shinji said. Teacher Dashimaru, let's go out for dinner. Go by yourself, I can take the Binglang pill, and the experiment has not been completed. Like Dashiwan, the general task is A level or S level, but this type of task is not always available. They have it all the time, so he spends a long time in his free time, and during his free time, he stays at home. In addition to teaching Kyosuke ninjutsu, he does experiments. The door doesn't go out, and the door doesn't move forward. If you eat, use soldier's grain pills to deal with it. Although the taste is not good, it is full. Teacher Ashimaru, you have not left the laboratory for almost 3 months, so you should go for a walk, and Konoha will open a new ramen shop today. Let's go and eat together. Has it been 3 months? As someone who has mastered the core technology, Dashiwan has no concept of time, but it doesn't make sense to go out behind closed doors. It might be inspiring to go for a walk. Before going out, I picked up a Shinji come back. Let's go for a walk this time too, then go, it is good. The master and apprentice left the laboratory together. Today Konoha is very lively, because Konoha has opened a ramen shop, which is small in size, but the taste is superb. The ramen shop is called Yile, and the owner of the shop is squinting with his hands, and the craftsmanship is very good. As a ramen shop that runs through the entire Hokage drama, it is also a famous food in the second dimension. How could Kyosuke not try it? He swaggered towards the location of Yile Ramen. He was not in a hurry. Today, the opening price is half price. What is terribly crowded is that there are too many people to be anxious. Passing an alley, I heard a slightly rugged man flaunting and saying, "Look, Pradhanam, you have studied the secret technique for 3 years. I have learned it, how about it? Very powerful. It's worthy of being a teacher Jiraiya, but I still have things to do, so I'll take a step ahead." Watergate hurriedly left, But Ji-Lai also dragged the helix pill in his palm, froze in place. Chapter 25 Encounter. Jiraiya. Oshimaru walked out and saw Jiraiya, who was also one of Konoha Sannin. Oshimaru. You guy is really willing to go out of the house. Look, how? My ninjutsu? Jiraiya was surprised when he saw the visitor, and then raised the helix maru in the palm of his hand and flaunted. This is the Watergate. I learned ninjutsu after 3 years of painstaking research, but I learned it very quickly. Is the A-level ninjutsu of Watergate? It's really good, but you have learned it for a long time with your talent? Oshimaru knows Jiraiya's talent well, so he said with a smile. Just kidding, I'm very good. A-level ninjutsu is not that easy to learn, and this kid is your disciple? Ji-Lai also looked at Shinzuki. Kyosuke greeted, Hello, Lord Jiraiya, I'm Kyosuke Asakawa, a disciple of teacher Osamaru. This is a famous teacher who has trained a bunch of shadow-level powerhouses. Although lustful, his teaching level can be said to be the first in the world, and among his disciples, the Son of Destiny appears, that is, the Prince. It even cultivated 2 Hokage, exaggeratingly speaking, this is the Emperor. Well, it's more polite than your teacher. He put Helix Maru in front of Kyosuke and said, How about it, isn't it cool? Is that so? Kyosuke spread out his hand, and a fireball about the size of Helix Maru was suspended in the palm of his hand. It didn't look like it, so he added special effects to the fireball to make the flames revolve around the fireball, not to mention it was so interesting. Jiraiya. Boy, you are just a vain form, but my attack power is very strong. He does not believe in evil. So, Kyosuke opened his hand and shot a fireball on the ground, blasting a pit larger than a football on the ground. Jiraiya. He looked at Dashimaru and said, Your apprentice taught me specifically to demolish the platform, right? No, he just can't get used to someone's habit of showing off. It's better to be in front of children. Dashawan felt unusually comfortable when he saw that Ji-Lai was deflated. Yeah, it's just Muji ninjutsu, so no one will be the same. Boy, do you know how difficult Muji ninjutsu is? Ji-Lai also had a black face, remembering that the kid in front of him would also be Muji, his face suddenly as ugly as if he had eaten a fly. I don't think so. Hey, Oshimaru, isn't this kid a ninja of the blood succession boundary? Yes, my ancestor is, but I haven't awakened for a long time, and he has awakened in his generation. Advertisement. This probability is terrible. If there is no one awakened for a long time in the blood succession boundary of a blood succession family, then this guy will quickly decline, and it is basically impossible to wake up afterwards. It is comparable to that of Kyosuke. When I went out, I met 6 immortals, so low that it was almost impossible. Of course it is impossible. Shinzuki is not the limit of blood inheritance. This kid's luck is really good. It's not easy for you. I am finally willing to accept a disciple. He was really happy to see that his best friend could accept a disciple. He originally thought it was impossible to accept a disciple with this guy's temper. Up. Although the talent may not be as good as Watergate, it is at least better than you, Oshimaru said. You guy, okay, it's rare to meet up and have a couple of drinks. He grabbed Oshimaru by the shoulders and dragged him to the izakaya. Originally, Kyosuke wanted to live with him in the past, but he was rejected by Ji-Lai for the reason. He can't take children to adults' places. I bother, I'm just an underage body. Dirty Lord, also, the izakaya you went to, was it serious? I'm still going to eat ramen. Yilei ramen is a famous delicacy. You must try it. After queuing for more than an hour, it was almost afternoon and I finally got my seat. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi, boss, a char shao ramen. An extra portion of char shao. No problem. The young hand beater squinted his eyes to deal with the work. Shinzuki looked at his busy hand beater, his eyes became deeper and deeper, and he couldn't see through. Is this the strength of Dadamu Yilei? According to unreliable sources, the hand-tying master squinted his eyes all year round just to hide his reincarnation, writing round eyes and living in Konoha. In fact, he is a peerless expert of the Itsuki clan, and making ramen is just a hobby. Looking around, this small ramen shop is actually Konoha's strongest place. Even after a series of events such as the Nine Tails Rebellion, the Konoha Collapse Plan, and Pain's invasion of Konoha, you can still see it the next day. The position works as usual, and the defense factor is comparable to that of Chu Daoyu. Here, your char shao ramen, please use it slowly. Just as Shinzuki released his thoughts, the handmaid master had already made the ramen. A large piece of barbecued pork is laid on the soft noodles, garnished with chopped green onion and shredded seaweed on the side, plus half an egg. It looks very good, smells fragrant and makes people appetite. Breaking off the chopsticks, he whispered, I'm moving. The moderately hard noodles bite in the mouth, and the delicious noodle soup will explode the umami flavor on the taste buds. It is very delicious. The char shao tastes very good too, which shows the skill of the cook. This bowl of noodles, if evaluated in 2 words, it is very delicious. Guru. Advertisement. He even drank the soup, wiped his mouth, and put down the food. Guest, half price today, you have paid too much, the handbeater said. No, I'll come back tonight. He waved his hand, and I will definitely come back tonight. Let's eat miso ramen tonight. This task is to help Chianzi blacksmith's family collect sweet potatoes. Yes. Asterisk 3. This time the task is to find the cat Xiaohu who was lost in Mrs. Matsushida's house. Yes. Asterisk 3. The mission is, yes tilde, asterisk 3. I can't take it anymore, Mr. Zhenheng, don't have C-level missions? Why are so many D-level missions sent to us recently, is my old man crazy? Asma couldn't help but say. Hong said,
Asma, don't say that about Naruto-sama, we are just forbearance, and we can't say that we can receive a C-level mission every time. Yes, Sha Ren's daily routine is to pick up trash, Shinzuki said. One thing he said, he didn't really want to pick up trash. Well, let Asma go back to grind his father later. Every time I go home, my mother is talking about me. Sweat more today and cry less in the future. Teacher Zhenheng is here, we are going to pick up the trash. Yuri Zhenheng came up and said, pack your bags and prepare to leave the village. This time we are going to leave the village. When they heard leaving the village, the three of them brightened their eyes and went home to take their bags. Although they didn't want to go out of the village often, they would occasionally go out. Xingjie and the others prepared a bag and they just went home and took it. You don't need to go back. Pack. Soon after, the four-person team assembled at the gate, and after showing the certificate, left the village to perform the task.